The regular city council meeting of August 16th, 2018 is called to order at 7:30 PM. Madam Clerk, the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilman Bodier.
Present.
Councilman Benton.
Present.
Councilman Hewitt. Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Wheeler.
Present.
Mayor Maselli.
Present.
Police Chief Walker.
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr.
Present.
City Attorney Burris.
Present.
City CPA Linda Lulu is absent, and Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee is present.
I have just some brief announcements. I am pleased to announce that our finance administrator, Ms. Linda Lulu, has received an award for the Government Finance Officers Association for the 4th year in a row for the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for her work in St. John Parish. And I think that's a wonderful accomplishment for her to get those honors. So we're very happy for her. It's a very prestigious award. We have to amend the agenda for a series of things, so if you bear with me. I'd like to have a motion to amend the agenda to add the city engineer, Calvin Hotmeyer, to number 1 under special presentations. Have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda is amended. We'd also, a request came in on Friday that was not added to the agenda, so I'd like to have a motion to add Clayton Cangelosi concerning the first responders benefit.
Motion.
As number 3 under special presentations. I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Benton. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended. No. We're going to move just to clarify, number 1 under special presentation will be the city engineer, number 2 is Darlene, number 3 is Clayton Cangelosi, number 4 is the current state of the Harahan Police Department. Also, Ms. Benton requests to amend the agenda to add proposed ordinance number 2018-18, an ordinance to amend ordinance 1333, Harahan zoning ordinance, section 17-C, substandard lots of record. Ms. Lee, did you get those copies made? Yeah, oh, thank you. All right. Can I have a motion to amend the agenda? To add it for first reading? I have a motion by Councilman Benton, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Johnston. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda is amended.
One more time, what's that?
It's one of the, adding to new business,
2018-18.
2018-18.
And where is it?
It's in the
She
stock.
handed it out
This stuff? On top?
somewhere.
It's stapled to this.
Yeah, that's what.
It has the old one on top.
I'd also like to have a motion to amend the agenda to add under a number 3 under new business for, what? No.
No, new business.
An alcoholic beverage license, an ABO for Smoke, location 6626 Jefferson Highway. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda?
Wait, what number
I
is
have a
this?
motion. It's going to be number 3 under new business.
But we have 4, so that would make it 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, number 5.
Okay.
Motion.
I miscounted.
That's okay.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, second by Councilman Bodier. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda is amended. Mr. Hotmeyer?
Wait, if we're gonna, yeah,
Oh, we have
I would
one
like
more?
to make a motion to amend the agenda to add resolution. Oh,
Okay.
and Jefferson Parish for the Harahan Athletic Association. I guess that could be number 2 under resolutions.
Yes, ma'am. We have a motion to amend the agenda to add resolution number
2018-10.
2018-10
Dash 10.
by Councilman Wheeler,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Johnston. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda is amended. If you give me a moment, I want to write that one in so I don't lose track here. Resolution. And you said that's 2018-10, right?
Yep.
Thank you very much. We will now open to address the council. Anyone wishing to?
Nope.
Oh, special presentations. I'm kind of going too fast. I'm sorry. Calvin Hotmeyer.
Before we get
Thank
started,
you.
Mayor, I know Mr. Burris had sent us an email about possibly going into executive session before the meeting.
You want to do that before?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion to go into executive session by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Wheeler. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
Sorry,
We'll-
Ms. Calvin.
Yes, sorry.
You need to stand
We'll be
there the whole
brief.
time, Megan.
We are now resuming the city council meeting. Coming back from executive session at 7:41, we're going into special presentations. Mr. Calvin Hotmeyer, the city engineer. Thank you very much, Mr. Hotmeyer. I'm going to ask that the council, we've got maybe several items on the agenda that we're taking up tonight that Mr. Hotmeyer might be able to answer some questions while he's doing special presentations. So maybe he doesn't have to spend the whole night with it. So,
Do you have any questions on any of the either resolutions or upcoming ordinances that I was
You talking
involved
about
with? The
about the
asphalt being
resolu-
one, or the resolution associated with the community development block grant?
Okay, so I had spoken with Linda, I really wish she would have been, sorry. I had spoken with Linda and I had communicated with the mayor about this because I think some of the wording in this resolution is not accurate, and I believe Ms. Lulu even agreed that there needs to be some verbiage change, because the way it reads now is it's like we have to commit 12 grand to get money back. And then apparently that is not the case. So I really wish she would have been here. I did email her asking her if she was coming. So I believe there needs to be some verbiage changed in this resolution.
her suggestion was to change the tense.
It is a past tense.
It's a
Money
past
has
tense.
been spent. This affirms that the city contributed these funds to the project, and that because of the way Jefferson Parish and/or the state accounts for the funds,
Yep.
they just want to
Well-
assure that the money had been spent.
I'm sorry, they're asking that you speak into the mic.
Is it on?
Gilbert, can you look at the resolution, the first?
Now it is.
To see what we might need to amend in the tense. to make
And
it-
again, this is a resolution that is strictly bureaucratic in nature.
And I don't have a disagreement with that. but
Right, yeah.
When I read it, and the
It
mayor and I were
reads-
communicating, it reads that we have to commit this to get that.
What we did was completely just regurgitate what the parish gave us that they wanted it to say. So, I
It's
agree with
still
you completely.
incorrect,
It is
yes.
still
So I
incorrect.
think we need to
and
just change the
Just change the
tenses.
tense, and it is,
Yes.
Or I think it says, or has committed, because this was something that apparently was done previous years. Because the way you read it now is that we're able to commit, which means we would have to put up this 12.7 to get approximately, I think it's 25 or 26.
that's the remaining part that they haven't reimbursed.
So,
So Calvin, you're saying it needs to read, City of Harahan has committed local funding in the amount of 12,000?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and can you tell us about the ordinance for Tyler?
Anything else
Oh,
on
I'm
that one?
sorry.
no,
Okay.
I guess we'll amend it when it comes up.
Okay. Tyler Street, this is again to do asphalt repairs, similar to what we've done in VFW, Prados, Kielman, as well as Hebe and Elodie recently. Completed that essentially this week, I believe. Tyler is approximately 3 blocks long. The first block has some unique aspects to it. It is almost raised above the local either side. So we've got to lower that a little bit, which means we've got to do some manhole adjustments. The other unique aspect is we've had some drainage problems on that street. We've had Blue Flash out there and CES out there to clear up these problems, and they are associated with those big oak trees. There are large roots that are going through the drain lines in this area. without getting into extreme arboristic issues of killing the tree, because we're going to try to cut the roots out, we're going to have to put in a drain line around this clog. So there's a little bit of drain work. It's included in this $215,000. It is work that is within the scope of the Barry A contract. So we're going to kind of go around the corner, cross the road, get the drainage around this clog so that we will hopefully fix the drainage, as well as lowering the road so it becomes more of the drainage system than the nearby neighborhood. But that first block is significantly higher than the second block. It almost drops, looks like well over a foot, but I'm sure maybe it is just an optical
And the
illusion.
street is higher than some of the houses,
It
especially
is clearly
on
higher than the
So draining.
yards. Yeah, so it's holding water in each of those yards, and it has for a while. So we've got to go through removing 6 to 8 inches and then putting back a new base. But we did some base work in the Keelman project, so it is all certainly doable.
Yeah, if you could just give any updates on what's going on with the sewer repairs. and the-
Sewers are, again, still 99% complete. We being the Ames Group, who is our design engineer on this project, has gone through all of the videotapes, which each line, after it's repaired, is videotaped from the inside, so we can see new pipe, old pipe, where they're fixed point, where they have lined, and has gone through this spreadsheet, which is really small print. But every one of these white or yellow dots is where we have adjusted quantities in what they had asked for. They have not yet asked for a third payment. They will be doing that soon. We've already informed them that we will be charging them liquidated damages for being late, giving them an estimate of what those are. But they will be collecting a significant amount of money in the near future. And there will be a change order to balance the final quantities. This is a unit price job that we will able to add and subtract miscellaneous quantities, and that'll be coming up in the next 60 to 90 days. All of this is reimbursable by the state.
And is somebody from the city or from the engineering firm going out and then doing inspections now, or?
Well, that's exactly right. Ames they did all the interior pipe, looked at all the videos, gave a list of lines that were not represented in their video file. We didn't have this line, we didn't have this line. They either went back and re-videoed those, or they found the video they had. Again, they're dated manhole to manhole, so we can compare it to our video from 14, 15, and 16, and see that it's the same line. They have also gone to each location, checked the surface repair, and we've given them a punch list of about 20 items that they need to fix.
Right.
You know, they still need to clean up the Royland parking lot. While they got the dirt out, they still left stuff there. There's a couple of sidewalks that are still cracked and need to be repaired. So there's still work for them to do. There are 2 specific pipe repairs that they still have to come back and dig up.
Okay.
that
And I
they
wasn't just
didn't.
talking about the stuff that's already finished. I'm talking about as they repair it. Like we had that issue where it wasn't inspected and sewage ended up in everybody's house. So are we?
As these repairs come up, the next repairs that they're doing, absolutely.
Okay.
Because they've done such a stellar job in the past,
Right.
we're, keeping a better eye. Again, one of the things we do have the ability here is to check the videotape. While it's, full-time inspection is wonderful, it's also expensive, and it just takes more money out of the budget that we can put pipe in the ground. So there's a trade-off.
Is the DEQ came in and
They
also
are-
inspected the manhole covers and the prior work.
Yeah, and they will do another inspection they come in after the fact and look at it, they check the video. So they have been involved, and they also approve the contracts that are put against the budget. So they have agreed with the level of inspection. We do testing on the concrete, on all the roads that were replaced. There were concrete cylinders poured. There was compaction tests that were done under those roads. So there was inspection done, but we did not have full-time inspection services as part of this.
And this other work that's going to be done on asphalts. the company that has done the repairs of asphalt through the sewer company is not the same company that is doing the asphalt, correct?
Correct.
Thank,
Yes, again,
Wanna make sure that's
still
stressed.
using, we're
Right.
still using the Jefferson Parish piggyback contract. So those prices were bid through Jefferson Parish, and we're still using that Barry A contract. They have done a very good job so far. There were some areas on Prados where they did not do the driveway aprons. When they came back and did Elodie and Hebe, I got them over there to finish that work up. So they had missed a couple of things, you know, but we
I
did.
just mainly wanted to make sure the
Yes,
citizens
they're
know
not
it's
the
not
same
that
asphalt.
company that's, right.
No, that is correct, sir.
And just
So-
one quick question, Mr. Bill Lattery's how is that coming along, where the telephone pole was in the ground and the pipe wasn't fixed all the way?
That has been completely replaced. The new fence up, the
He is
power pole.
thrilled.
Yeah.
The power, yeah, and everything looks very good. We still have to do some work on his sidewalk,
Okay,
just from driving back and forth.
right.
There's gonna be a slight argument on who broke it, whether we broke it or they broke it the first time, and we'll probably just fix it under a city contract just to get it done.
Yeah.
Because it's cracked, it's clearly cracked, it needs to be done. As much as we can back charge the contractor for stuff we did, we are doing, but we get into a problem with the state because we didn't bid that portion with Davis-Bacon wage rates because it's a federally seeded funds, we've got federal requirements. So there's a reimbursement issue on that, but we got the work done, which was the biggest thing for Mr. Ladner.
Good, thanks, thank you.
So Calvin, the work that's being done, I know you said they're submitting like the videos and stuff. Do we actually have like reports from them written that maybe we can get copies of as work's being done and performed, like a checklist or a punch list? Okay, that's done, and this is what's remaining?
We've got we've got the spreadsheet of
Okay.
all the various repairs and what they did, where their
What still needs to
location.
be done.
And what still needs to be done. But we don't have a report. A daily report is something typically you get from a full-time inspector. We don't have that, but we do have the videotapes and megabytes of information, terabytes of information in videotapes. It's all being done through Dropbox. And again, Ames is the one who is reviewing that information.
Now, can I say something? You're speaking of Tyler Street, and you're speaking of the 800 block.
Right.
I live in the 900 block. How is that gonna affect what you're doing on the 800 block? How is it gonna affect the 900 block? You gotta bring all levels down, because we're the lowest.
Well, I don't plan on lowering anything but that first block. The other blocks will be milled and asphalt overlaid.
But Grove crosses.
Right, and it's a little higher, and I'm gonna try to match that and I can't go below that because then I create a dip on Grove. So,
There was something written about 1,600 feet.
I guess that was the estimate of the 3 blocks, and I don't remember. We did it a couple different ways. We drove it, measured the odometer, we also walked it with the wheel, and I currently don't remember that quantity. But all the work that's done as part of this asphalt is by the ton. You know, it's by the ton of asphalt, so it's a little bit,
So the piping work that you're gonna do is.
it's just one block, just one really going around the tree. It's just,
The 800 blocks loaded with oak trees.
right, there's 3 very nice, big oak trees, and we can't get into the root system without getting into another lawsuit.
Understand, thank you.
And just so everybody knows, where are we at as far as the $4 million?
We still have $1 million plus left. Hopefully by the end of the year, we will bid the next project, which is Pump Station 6 and Force Main from 6 to near 8. That will take 6, Pump Station 6, which is about 40% of what goes to 8 out of 8. So now 8 and 6 will be pumping to the plant. It'll provide some redundancy. 8 goes down, we don't lose the whole city. It'll give us a little bit of flexibility that we have none now. 8 is the keystone in that system.
If anything happens to 8, then we're all without.
Yeah,
So,
if you remember, 3 Christmases ago, we had a lot of flooding and that pump station was down. That pump station is now 3 new pumps, fully changed out all the piping, got the road back restored, so that's fully operational now.
and that was a difficult job. That was a very difficult.
And lastly, it's not done yet, but I know it's in the process of being built. How is the sewer going to react once the assisted living home is in play?
They're putting in a lift station that serves that station. It pumps up Colonial to, is it Norton that parallels Wilson? There's a manhole right there. It'll discharge into that, and it gets to 6. So when 6 is being rehabbed, it'll be increased in capacity. The pumps will be enlarged to handle that additional flow. And it's handled the additional flow for that entire lease commercial development. The current plan is that the backside of that development is going to go to the gravity system that goes over to the pump station on McHugh. Sometime in the future, when that residential system comes online or gets developed, that station is going to have to be rehabbed. Both those costs should be shared by the developer.
And how is that going to go in, play into, we were already at max, I believe, or close to max, or a little over max at some times?
A lot of what we've done in this first contract with GCU is to reduce the inflow and infiltration. So we should see that reserve and capacity coming back. We may have to do, in the near future, some sewage plant improvements. There are a lot of different options there, limited because of our property now limits, but I think we can still work into some other change in operations that might increase the capacity. But that is something that is 5 or 10 years off.
Right.
We'll be happy to move from the firehouse and you just extend the sewer plant across the street, put us somewhere else.
That's
You want to
right.
be next to the assisted living?
Yes,
Yeah.
right next to it.
That would be nice.
I think we just put you back in the Royland fire station.
Sir? Excuse me, I didn't hear that. What was that? I'm ignoring
He's
you.
bigger than you, Calvin. Watch out.
I'm well aware of
No,
that.
but Calvin, I do need to get with you on Monday so that we can go over the pronunciation of some of our streets.
Which one did
By
I?
the way, it's Elodie
Elodie and Prados.
and Prados.
Oh, in Pratt- okay.
Prados.
Prados.
And
I
Elodie.
apologize
Snake
completely.
Alley, you wanna call it
Forgive
Snake
me.
Alley, you can call it that, but-
Forgive me.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm a Yankee. I'm from Slidell. So it's,
I picked that up in the tone of your voice.
So you said we might be able to increase capacity of the sewer system. We might be able to increase the capacity. What happens if we can't?
well, we have to increase the capacity, but what I was saying was we might be able to do it within the existing facility.
Oh, I see.
Right now, on the backside of the plant are a number of storage sheds, for lack of a better word, between it and the new pump to the river. That would be the location where you would add tankage
Okay.
as a real constructed product. But there are some, with some value engineering and some special research, you might be able to change the process chemically or, through other aeration means that could increase the capacity of the existing structure, is what I was saying.
I see, understood.
And also the sludge, too, that's in
Right,
the
there's still a sludge
occupied-
process, and there's a sand sediment issue that needs to be resolved as well.
I'm good.
Those are
Thank you.
good questions, thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to make one quick comment. I heard you say that, through the loan, the $4 million that we made back in, I think, 2014, 2015, Councilman Baudier, good job. Because by the work that we've done with the $3 million that we've used about so far, is what we heard tonight, through all the testing and the repairs, that if we do actually develop Colonial with our assisted living center that we've all approved, and all these additionally toilets that are going to be flush, and they're going to put a new lift station in, that because of the repairs we've done so far, that we will be okay. So, good job.
Thank you.
I thank you, Calvin. I think we've done a very good job.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Good job, Tim.
I got a question. Give us an update on the proposed renovations to the exterior of City Hall and the police
We don't
complex.
have that done yet.
As part of the pre-disaster mitigation project that we've got, about $500,000 grant to do. It will involve windows and doors and the ramp at City Hall and the police station, and roof work as well. Similar work at the senior center, the gym, we'll probably get a new roof, along with some new doors.
Definitely needs a new roof.
And the fire station, certainly look at doors and windows there, and potentially some roof work. The maintenance work, maintenance building, which was the work we did the doors, the new garage doors, that's already done as part of this program. We're probably not gonna do any other further work at that building. We hope to have the first project out to bid this year, which hopefully will be City Hall. Meeting with the architects hopefully next week to get their schedule as to when they're gonna finish these projects.
And what about the streetscaping? Very
Again,
quickly.
streetscaping is another $300,000 grant that is actually a
RPC, Regional
yeah,
Planning Commission.
it's a, was a DOTD grant called a TAP grant. I'm trying to remember what TAP stands for, but I think it's an alternative transportation. So it is about pedestrian access along Jefferson Highway that we are looking at sidewalks, some drainage, and, getting so we can walk from one end to the other on Jefferson Highway. Not always on the same side, there's crossovers, because there's a lot of areas that don't have any sidewalks and still have open ditches. So there's a mixture of things that are being done. The ultimate project's about $4 million that involves completely filling in the ditches with pipe and whatnot, but that's really more of a highway project than it is a city project. So we're dealing now strictly with the sidewalks.
And they're going to be ADA accessible. We're also redoing the crosswalks for the schools.
I believe so.
And
And then currently, we're in an environmental study now, getting letters from the various other agencies throughout the state saying that there is no environmental impact. Uniquely enough, one of the things we need to get is a coastal use permit.
Coastal use.
Jefferson Parish is part of the coastal use permit zone.
And these grants that we're gonna receive, there's a portion we're gonna have to match too, right?
Yes, there is, I believe it's 15 to 25%.
And I think the 70,000, the number for the RPC, what was it, 330,000 was the RPC grant, and 70,000 would be about
About the match,
yeah, about the
So on the 500, we're talking 100,000?
yes.
And just real quick, you mentioned when the new system, when a new development comes on, and it'll all flow to Station 6, and they're gonna come in and they'll be responsible for maintaining that extra flow. Will we be able to lean on them and try to push them for more?
Part of the impact fee will be to pay for the increased pump size.
in
All right, it's still gonna be the city's operation, but to increase that pump size, that pump capacity to address that approximately 120 gallon per minute flow, which is, I believe, their average daily flow from that pump station. That increased capacity is part of the impact fee that,
we negotiated in the
Right.
memorandum of
So
understanding.
it should help out. I mean, it should help us out a lot, and then we push them for every extra piece we can get.
oh yeah,
So when we went back to the drawing board with JW Colonial, one of the things that we renegotiated was them taking on some of the financial responsibility for those improvements, the infrastructure
Absolutely.
improvements.
Get everything we can from them.
So
Absolutely.
that was a big plus that we got out of that memorandum,
It's awesome.
yeah.
One more quick question, Calvin, you said the doors came out of that, the grant or the money for the maintenance
ultimately,
and stuff
yes.
like that?
Yeah, we paid for them
So-
today. They would either be
Okay.
reimbursed or
But-
credited back as
But we
part
did a
of-
budget ordinance to take that money out of capital, it was about 6,000, did that money go back into capital?
I don't believe so.
Not yet.
Not yet, it's got to get returned to us first.
Or it would
Do
be
we
your
anticipate a
contribution.
return date?
No, I don't. It may also be your contribution as
Part of the
your,
match?
as part of
Okay,
your match.
As long as there's, okay.
That you get credit for it in that respect. Because there is a matching fund, so this, that and a lot of the design services are part of your matching fund.
So the matching fund goes down that much more, that much
Yeah,
money.
Right.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was informative, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
See you Monday, buddy.
Elodie. Right.
Yeah, guilty.
I know, guilty. Darlene Schwartz, Community Liaison, special presentation number 2.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens. We have quite a few announcements tonight, so we'll get right into it. First off, we have on August 24th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus Hall. There's going to be a little Soniat playground and candidate meet and greet, so to speak. It's only going to be an hour, but it's going to be like an update, what's going on with the playground, and also an opportunity for the citizens to rub elbows with some of the candidates and maybe ask questions and intermingle with some of the people that are running for office. Again, that's August 24th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus Hall, 1 hour. Next up is an annual event that takes place at the camp. And this is really a nice event. I've attended it. It's the Louisiana Boxer Rescue. And for those of you, whether you're animal lovers or not, it's a nice family event. It's going to run from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The admission is...
What day is it?
that is a Saturday, October the 6th. Thank you. Saturday, October the 6th. $15 is the admission fee, and it does include food. They're going to have all sorts of things, silent auction, parade of prizes. If you have a pet, dress them up with sunglasses or a funny hat or whatever. There's a costume contest. It's pretty fun. You can crawl on 4 legs and put something on, you know, same difference. There's a rescue parade, prizes. I can tell you, I donate to this event, and one of the raffle ticket items, the big raffle ticket item this year is going to be something really nice. They haven't printed the tickets yet, so we can't say what, but it's going to be really nice. So take the kids out and have a nice time out. Hopefully the weather will be a lot cooler. Again, that's Saturday, October 6th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the camp. The Louisiana Boxer Rescue. It is a 501c nonprofit organization. I've got quite a few announcements here, or at least a couple, that I was asked to make about Soniat Playground, okay? It's a nice playground, and we got some things going on. There's no reason why all our citizens can't participate in one or both of the events, okay? One of them is going to take place Saturday, October 13th, 7:30 to 10:30 in the morning, 3 hours. Cleaning it up, right? Bring gloves, trash bags, closed-toe shoes, all of y'all, right? Got it. Clean up the park. Again, the weather should be a little bit better. It's morning time. Come on out and help do the part. Not wait for somebody else to do it, but pitch in and help, okay? Anything, you don't have to stay the whole 3 hours, obviously, but come for a little bit and help out. I've got a flyer on that. I'll make some copies and put them outside for everybody to take a copy. Friday, October 26th, again, at Soniat Playground, $2 per child. Kids are welcome to wear costumes. This is a trunk or treat event for Soniat Playground, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. We're looking for people to have trucks that they're going to decorate. $75 is the minimum they're asking for a donation to be able to participate. There's going to be prizes for the top 3 that are decorated. Spike, you'll be there, I'm sure, right? Okay. So reach out. I'm going to make copies of this. Reach out to your businesses, your friends. See if everybody can get one participant. It would be huge. It'd be really, really nice for the kids to be able to go around and get some trick-or-treat, safe, fun, and raise some money for a real good cause, okay? Here's my one of my real favorite things that y'all hear me talk about every 6 months or so. Saturday, October 27th. It is National Prescription Drug Take Back Day. This event, the police department has collected well over 1,000 pounds of drugs since we've been participating. 1,000 pounds plus. That's some serious drugs that would have otherwise gone down the drains, disposed of in the garbage, or thrown away in some manner that it shouldn't have been. That's what we've done here in this city and our surrounding community that participates. So collect the stuff, save it. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I can tell you the Rite Aid Pharmacy has always allowed us to do the event there. I spoke to the chief earlier. We're going to go by there next week and again speak to one of the managers that is still on site there and verify that since it's now a Walgreens, we will be able to use their parking lot. She assured me in the past that's not going to be a problem. As soon as we get it verified, we're going to get the flyers out, and let's get this stuff turned in once again and make a really, really good showing. And then, of course, we're going to have in October the National Night Out Against Crime event. That'll be coming up at St. Rita's, and we'll provide more details as that gets a little more coordinated. And then the big Halloween bash at Imperial Woods subdivision. So it's going to be a busy month, a lot of stuff going on. And, you know, we hope we have good weather and big participation with the donations and fundraisers and stuff. And am I missing anything? I'm good.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Take care.
Thank you. Before we move on to our next special presentation, I'd like to acknowledge a very special guest and now a friend. Mary Schlesinger is here. She is the director for Senator John Kennedy, 9 parishes in Louisiana. She has adopted Harahan, talks to the senator quite often, and has really had our voice heard on a federal level. I really want to thank Mary for everything she does. They have a standard joke that she always tells the stories that I give her from the city of Harahan, and that I tend to really enjoy the senator's quite humorous quips. And he had a good one today. So, but thank you very, very much. She's also, the senator's office has helped us look at what's going on in our river, grain, onloading, offloading, helping us, guide us with the odor issues. So again, our many, many thanks. Thank you. Special presentations, Mr. Cangelosi. Welcome back.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure working with you guys, and thank everybody for the hard work that you've actually put in, the people that attended the Heroes in Action Day. Councilman Baudier, the shirts he donated, wonderful shirts, get comments on them all the time. Actually, Westweco just got some shirts last week. And all the council members and the mayor that got to attend, and of course the chief of police. And it was a great event, very hard working. It was very hot. We didn't get the attendance we expected, but of course that's when you do an outside event in the middle of July when it's 100+ degrees. But that happens. So next year we're going to do some changes and work on some different things. We're actually working on a golf tournament this year, possibly in the spring when it's a little bit cooler. So I'm working with my board and all my members, and we're going to put this together. So hopefully we're shooting for the week after Mardi Gras if everything works out right, and get this up and rolling, and we'll find a place where we can do, you know, host a golf. Hopefully the city of Harahan can host it again, and then of course we're going to still continue doing the Heroes in Action Day event in Harahan every year. Everybody that came really enjoyed it, got great comments on it, and so we did collect some money. I've literally just got to explain, I did not get a chance to get with our treasurer to get the breakdown. I will get that emailed over. They're leaving to go out of town of everything, of how much money was brought in, how much money was spent. I will say we actually got to raise some money this year. We weren't in a hole like we were last year, but we didn't get to raise what we wanted to. But, you know, Harahan did benefit the majority like I promised. And so, you know, we got the police department, and then the fire department is getting a piece of the pie also. So with that being said, I've actually, after the event took place, I was supposed to go on a month's rest before I start my senior citizen Christmas banquet, and literally had a whole entire business fall on my lap. And so I actually got one of my business partners back there. We've been working tirelessly trying to get this thing open for our grand opening date on the 8th of next month. So it's been a little crazy. So actually I would like to get the chief to come up real quick. And again, the reason why I do this for the ones that did not get to attend this event, after what happened, of course, with Officer Michael Levee, which was a very good friend of mine, you know, seeing that, you know, I just got tired of the police getting put down, and you know, we come off of a president that knocked our police and just literally the respect for most people, their police went from here to here. And I got tired, of course, after Steve Scalise and then Michael Louvier was before him and all the Baton Rouge police officers. I said, you know what, this year, instead of doing something for me for my birthday, I want to donate my birthday to the police officers. And so I basically, we raised a little money, and we got a check for $1,250. That's going to go to Harahan Police Department. So my goal was to raise $5 or $10 grand, but it's our first event here, second,
Good job.
but first event.
Good job.
And so, you know, we're gonna do better next year and have more money raised as we go. And hope, you know, if we would have gotten more of Jefferson Parish to participate, hopefully next year after they've seen this and we're, you know, seeing what we're doing, they will participate. Other agencies, Westweco, then told me they want to participate next year, and they couldn't this year like they wanted to. So, you know, my goal is getting the municipalities and, you know, focusing this within the municipalities, Gretna, Harahan, Westweco. You guys need the money more anyway, and work with you guys directly in the future. So, again, thank you.
Thank you very much. I know you put a lot of hard work and time. You and your committee, we thank you all.
Thank
And all
you.
the volunteers that came out,
Yes.
the donations that y'all received.
No problem. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And then, of course, our fire department, they're not recognized, but these guys run into burning buildings every single day and pulling people out. And so they're running into danger also. And so these guys need to be recognized also. And this one is, we got a check for $250 to the Harahan Fire Department. Hopefully that was, is that correct? If
No, it's
not, we
supposed
can-
to be made out of cash. but- In that case, we'll turn this over to you and you can take care of that.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
sir.
That's fine. Thank you, guys. So, you know, if you guys would like to, I have to
Put it on
jet
tape.
because I have people back at my shop meeting me there to finish. We have a big yard sale to clear this place out. So, you know, Councilman Baudier has my number. The mayor has my phone number. Most of the councilmen have my number. If you guys would like to participate next year, please, you can look me up on Facebook, Clay Cangelosi. I'm at just about any council meeting, you know, in Jefferson Parish. So, you know, if you guys would like to help, we could use your help. We're not going to turn it down. This is a great cause. We want this event to take off and be one of the biggest events, hopefully bigger than Jazz Fest. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chief?
Mayor, Council, viewing public, Tim Walker, Harahan Police Department. First, I want to bring up Harahan Police Department Attorney Steve Pettit for an update.
The police department wants everybody to know that yesterday another public records lawsuit was filed against the mayor, and we want everybody to know why it was filed and what the police department is looking at. A few months ago, we obtained, among other things, the invoices of a few people, including Linda Lulu, who's the accountant for the city, and some bank records from the city. We noted that all the invoices for Miss Lulu appear to be signed by the mayor, and that they all did appear to be paid. So that was the first thing. But as we started looking into the invoices, we noticed what looked to be many instances of double, triple, and gross overbilling. We found things like attending the same council meeting twice and getting paid for it, 3 times getting paid for what appears to be the same ordinance, and each time was about 4 hours. And we think this is the ordinance, 1 page. So 3 times, 4 hours each for this. And we noticed things like there was 3 invoices for September of 2017, and if you put the invoices together, first 2 invoices didn't appear to be double billed, but the third one was almost exclusively a double billing of either 1 or 2. So we found just a lot of things that concerned us. So what we did was we filed another public records request for documentation that we could look at to kind of see if this is just a mistake or if it's overbilling or whatever it is. We want to be able to match the documents to what are in the invoices. So unfortunately, that public record request went ignored, which seems to be common. So we filed a lawsuit to get these public records so we can figure out what's going on with this money. The police chief is determined to figure out how the money is being spent in Harahan, and he is also determined to make this a very open and transparent investigation because it's basically everybody in this place's money. So that is why it was filed. That is what we are looking for, and we will do everything in the police department's power to continue the investigation and figure out what's going on. So if anybody has any questions about, and by the way, there's plenty more than what I just said. I'm just giving you the basic examples of what we saw and why we're asking for these different public records to just kind of put the pieces together. So if anybody has questions, they are free to call the police department. I'm quite sure the police chief will meet with anybody that wants to talk about it. I will certainly be there if anybody wants to talk about it. And we're going to just keep going. We're going to get the records, and we're going to figure out why these apparent gross overbillings and 3 invoices in 1 month that are not paid till 6 or 7 months later, and just all kinds of things in these invoices. That's what we're doing. It's going to be open and transparent, and anybody that's got any questions is more than welcome to call the police chief. The police chief has already assured me he'd meet with anybody that wants to discuss it, because it needs to be open. You need to know what's going on with your money. This is your money. So that is where we stand with this last lawsuit, and we'll have a hearing next week, and we'll see what happens. So that's the update.
Okay, again, as I mentioned before, suspicious activity, please call the police department, 911, or the station direct, 737-9763. If you see something that's out of character, call us. Try and get a description, vehicle, or the individuals. Don't try to stop anybody or confront them. Call us, let us do our job. Also on the first reading tonight is ordinance 2018-14. What I've asked before, it's going to be about $6,500 or less. It's to pay the increase in premiums for all city employees for this year, which started in July. It's about $6,500. That way, none of the city employees will have any increase in premiums for what they paid last year. It's a small amount, but I think the little that most employees get here, it'll make a big difference to them. Also, remember, schools are open. We've got 3 schools in Harahan: St. Rita, Harahan Elementary, Faith Lutheran. Be careful of the schools and the school zones and the children. Thank you.
We will now address the council. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up to the podium. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address. We have a special guest again, a resident. Yes, please come on.
Good evening, council, mayor, police chief, fire chief. Thank you all for having me. My name is Amanda Calagero. I'm a resident of Harahan for a number of years. I am running for Jefferson Parish Juvenile Court Judge. This is a parish-wide seat, so it will be elected by everyone that resides anywhere in Jefferson Parish. As a representative on that bench, if I'm elected, I, of course, will represent everyone in the parish, but I will put Harahan, of course, as my home on that seat. For the last 7 years, I have been running for the district attorney who's elected in Jefferson Parish, the juvenile system. I'm familiar with all of the police chiefs as well as many other parish agencies that we work with. In my capacity as chief prosecutor, I have been responsible for the overseeing of all petitions filed in Jefferson Parish with regard to all juvenile matters.
Can we have quiet, please? Someone speaking. Thank you.
This includes everything from child welfare, child dependency cases that are investigated by the Department of Child Family Services, from runaways, truancy cases, and all the way to, of course, criminal cases. We also have a full-service child support office, and we have over 30,000 open cases. I did want to mention, though, some particular work that I think that have been good, that I've accomplished and feel like I've really been a part of in the last 7 years while I've been the chief prosecutor. One is we have greatly expanded what we offer in pretrial diversion. This is for low-level offenders who are juveniles as well as first-time offenders. Particularly in the work that we have done, we have hired all master's level counselors in our pretrial diversion program. We're offering, wonderful services to juveniles that they may have not otherwise been able to get. We are able to offer these services to them a full 5 months earlier statistically than if they go through the court process. We've been able to reduce the caseloads for probation officers by about 50%. And why is that important, you might wonder? It's important because on the other side of the spectrum, there are kids who are dealing with guns, who are shooting people, who are committing violent offenses, and we want to open up those avenues so that these probation officers can appropriately supervise the real cases and the problem kids. The other thing I just wanted to mention is that we are having a real awakening with juveniles that are attending Jefferson Parish Public Schools. We are putting a lot of restorative practices in school systems all around the parish, and I have personally participated in helping to move that forward. We have a brand-new superintendent in Jefferson Parish. I hope that all of you have had an opportunity to meet him. He's got a great energy with him, and I think this is a real good time for us to continue in our efforts in Jefferson Parish Public Schools. We've been able to reduce the arrests in public school by law enforcement parish-wide by 50% over the last 5 to 6 years. So I think there's a lot of good things going on. I ask for your support, and I thank you for your time.
I'd like to personally thank you for coming. I wanted to tell you that there have been several occasions where people have told me how much you've helped them in their situations and what a great job you've done. And I'd also like to vouch for the Calagaro family. They are in part responsible for me marrying my husband. Our first date was at Michael's house down the street from where I live today. So
Thank you.
good luck.
Thank you all for your
Thank you
time.
very much.
Thank you.
Do I really have to tell everybody who I am?
You can.
All right. My name's David Arsenault, and I've only been in Harahan for 60 years, okay? I live at 77 Harahan Street, and I have a special gift here for the mayor. Tina? I want you to take this, but I want you to wait a minute to open it. Tina, we talked the other day, and you brought it to my attention that you thought the chief had way too many police cars, and his budget was way overextended, and you told me that you had to take money from his budget. Well, I started doing a little research, and if what's going on is what I think is going on,
I want you to open the bag now and look inside and pull out what's in that bag. Pull it out. I hope you like that color. Because guess what? If the forensic auditors find what I think they're gonna find, that's the color you're gonna be wearing. Point taken. And I'm gonna tell y'all, since the last time I appeared at the council meeting, I wanna applaud you guys. Y'all have learned to work together a lot better than y'all used to. The last time I came here, it was like a cat fight. And everybody was at everybody else's throats. And Tina, I even told you back then, I didn't vote for you for mayor. And you and I got to be friends. And I took you for your word. And you disappointed me. Very disappointing. So, all I can say is, the chips are gonna fall where they may, and I hope you don't wind up going to jail. Okay? Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Well, Mayor, I have a different take on that. I would like to congratulate you for getting the endorsement of the Alliance of Good Government. You have done a lot of things in your 4 years. Good things for this city, and I know it's been hard. And sitting here and having something like that said to you, and you do it with dignity, and you do it quietly, and I appreciate it, and I know a lot of the citizens do as well. So congratulations. Well deserved. I'd also like to make a comment about Mr. Pettit coming and laying out his case before the cameras and the citizens. I've worked for attorneys many, many, many years, and I have never before seen an attorney come and prosecute his case before citizens like this. I think it's a shame, and I think it's politically motivated, and I'm sad to see that Chief Walker is spending taxpayers' money on an attorney. I know that when this lawsuit that Mr. Pettit has gone into great detail to discuss is discussed amongst you and your attorney and our attorney, that you get up and you leave and you go privately and you discuss those items. But you're treated unfairly when taxpayer money is going to pay for an attorney to come here and say, oh, I've enrolled in the case now, so I'm out of it. But I will tell you this, which is what he did before and what he's done tonight, and I'm sure we'll see repeat performances. And I just want to remind everybody that a case always sounds good when one side is putting it out there. But when you hear the other side, things start to change. And so I'm just really sorry to see the taxpayers' money being used for such nonsense. And regarding Ms. Hewitt's thanking Mr. Baudier for the $4 million loan that the previous administration made, I believe that's the same loan that Ms. Hewitt said she couldn't remember. No, she didn't say we, she said we can't remember everything. Mr. Baudier had also forgotten to pay for it. So again, Mayor, thank you for your service, and we're so proud of that award for you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Rhonda Bagby. Chief, there's one thing that I'd like to bring up first. I know you and our community liaison, Darlene, always tells us to watch for children. We also need to watch for adults. As someone who has actually witnessed an individual get hit by a car, it is something I never, ever want to see happen again. To see a person laying helpless in the middle of the street, not moving. It's horrible. And the reason I bring this up is because I was traveling on Colonial Club. Eric Chatelain was backing out of his driveway, and I was doing 18. I always watch my speed. I was doing 18. He was steadily pulling away from me. Next time that happens, whoever I have with me, I'm going to have him videotape my speed and showing him going that way, how fast he's going. He did not get stopped. There was no police in the area at the time. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And my next question is to Tim Bodier. Are you going to still deny calling the middle-aged and elderly women in Harahan terrorists?
Hi, everybody. My name is William Wallace. I'm your neighbor in River Ridge, and this is my first council meeting in Harahan. I'd like to thank the council and the mayor for giving me some time here. While I live in a different area, I think that Harahan and River Ridge, we all believe that we're all members of the same community. And, I've been busy my whole life, and now my kids are off to college and spend a lot of time with them. And now I'd like to spend a lot of time in our community doing some positive things for our community. And that's why I'm here tonight. You can find me, I'm on Facebook at William Wallace for America, because while I promote a lot of things American, I believe that the best way that we can improve our country and our state is by improving our community. And so what I'm here tonight is to let everybody know, if you contact me on my Facebook page at William Wallace for America, I'm looking for ways, positive ways, that we can improve our community. You'll find on my page, I do videos for small businesses. I do them for free. I believe in business in the community. I believe in, if we help the businesses and we support each other within our communities, that it's a positive approach to improving it instead of all the fighting. I mean, we're going to have fighting. We're going to have differences. But if we take some time to really promote our businesses and help each other out. I mean, let's look for ways. That's what this forum's about. Like I said, it's not just promoting businesses. I want you to contact me, and if you can think of ways that we can help our neighbors in our community, help each other out in positive ways, I want to hear about it. I want to report it. I'll do some time on it. For 3 years, I had a radio show on WGSO, 990 AM. I took a break off air for a little bit, and we're going to go back on air. So I'm getting ready to have this on the radio too. So if anybody wants to be a part of it, or anybody wants to have some time, if you have a business or know somebody has a business, or you just have a positive story like Darlene had, the events that are going on, a positive thing, I'll cover it for you. And let's see what positiveness can do within our communities, everybody. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Andrew Case, Ashbourne Street. First off, I'd like to thank whoever, mayor, council, if other people up here, whoever got the city engineer back out for the update in 1 month. A lot of people were asking for that, asked me to talk about last month, so it was really good. And then other people, Kerry Craig, those were really good questions. Everyone wanted to hear on it. The thing I want to speak out tonight was to get some clarity on the situation with the fire rating. So from what I understand, and again, whoever wants to answer this is fine. As far as I know, we went down a notch in fire rating, which essentially means that everyone's going to be paying higher insurance rates in the city. And so there was, in the budget, put room for 2 new firefighters, but so far only one's been hired, and apparently there's been some, we'll call them issues, on getting a second firefighter actually trained up or hired or whatever the issue is there. So what I'm trying to understand is it basically feels like we're being double taxed. So we're paying the taxes in the first place. We're paying our insurance on our houses in the first place. We're paying taxes to the city, and it's almost like we're paying twice. It feels like the taxes maybe should be less to offset the insurance in the fire rate, in our home insurance rates for the because our rating went down. Or if the money's budgeted for it, why not just use it, which will then help all the citizens out be able to pay lower insurance. And so again, whoever wants to answer that is fine, but it definitely feels like some sort of double or silent tax for the allocated money not to get used, and then we all get paid more for it. So whoever, I don't know, whoever wants
I'll
to
answer that for you at some
Okay.
point, whenever the council or
Yeah,
mayor would
answer.
like me to do so.
You can answer it now. You want to
That's
answer it
fine.
now?
Go ahead.
I can answer it now, absolutely. We, there was money put in our budget to hire 2 people. We have hired one. From what I understand, there was an issue where money wasn't placed in the proper places through the budget ordinance, so we were not allowed to hire the second. As far as you losing a rating, it's a manpower issue, but it's more than a one-person manpower issue.
Okay.
It's about a 12 to 15-person manpower issue.
Additional?
Additional.
Okay.
What happens is, one, they've changed the standards to some extent. 2, we used to have a volunteer fire company, which we no longer have, which helps supplement with some of the manpower. A lot of things have changed in the standard and what's
Okay.
accepted for training for volunteer fire companies. You have 13 volunteer fire companies on the West Bank and 1 volunteer company on the East Bank. None of them are volunteer companies. They're all volunteer companies by charter, an organization that run the fire service, but they're paid fire departments. And the fact that they hire people to drive the fire trucks and fight the fires.
Okay.
We don't have that luxury. You know, we don't have a contract with a major parish in order to provide fire protection. It's the city of Harahan. The only people that are gonna pay for it are right here. We either get it in sales tax or from a millage increase.
Okay.
But if you were to roll back our taxes to, say, supplement or
Yeah.
to go back, it would only hurt the fire service or hurt us as a fire department even
Okay.
further.
So just to clarify, so there's 3 now, and you're saying you would need like 9 more to get to 12?
Oh, no.
Or 12 more on top of the 3?
My request every year during budget hearings is for an additional 24
Okay.
people, okay? Is for an additional 24. I have a plan, we started with a committee, we stopped, I found out I have to follow the open meetings law. We're gonna do a few things, we're gonna get our committee going again, and that's one of the presentations I'm making to them of what I think we can do to, one, make it safer for our firemen to fight fires in the city of Harahan, but also what we can do to make it safer for the citizens in Harahan when we're responding.
Okay.
Right now, we have 3 people on per shift, plus myself and an assistant chief. It's not a lot of people getting off
Yeah.
the fire truck when there's a fire.
Exactly.
The only thing that we can go by is NFPA standards. Those standards say that we need to have a minimum of between 14 and 17 to even make an attempt to go into a burning building. That would take us a while to get that even past a second alarm. So, there's definitely some things that we can do to get better. I don't think that we'll ever be a fully paid, fully staffed department without finding some revenue other than to tax the people themselves. Whether it be through a sales tax increase or whatever, that's the only way we would ever get there. But, we're definitely working, and we'll have more to report in the future of what we're doing to address the rating issue.
Thank you for that update.
The one thing we do have, I'm sorry if that satisfied you, I'm gonna go a little bit
Okay,
further. The one thing that we do have is fortunately, we understand the rating. The rating is a bit of an arcane science in the fact that they really don't work with you well because they don't want your rating to be well. Okay, so we've had to figure it out over the years, and we have a good staff of people that understand exactly what needs to be done to get there, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
So if we're given the means, we will produce the results. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're quite capable. We're very knowledgeable. Everyone in my department is certified as an instructor. They can all teach other firefighters how to fight fire. Everyone. I would stand for no less. That's not what the requirements are. That was my requirements. The knowledge that we have is great. We need the means. We need the resources. If we have that, we will produce the best fire department that you've ever seen. We do things now that other fire departments can't do because we're a small community, and most of our people are from here, and we have a vested interest in our community, so we do go above and beyond. We just need the funds to be able to do that.
Thank you.
All right?
Andrew, if I can just say something. So Chief, I know you mentioned the comment that the money is there, but apparently it might not be in the appropriate lines, which may prohibit another employee being
Right.
hired.
What I was told
Okay.
by Ms.
Linda?
Lulu was that not enough money was given to make the payments on the payroll expenses, or that there was not enough money for payroll
Because if I'm not
expenses.
mistaken, the money was all put into the salary line. And
And had to
I
move.
assure you, I will address this with Ms. Lulu first thing tomorrow morning.
Very good.
The money that we put into the salary line, if I'm not mistaken, was to hire 2 new firemen.
And I know that that was done in, this is 2018, that was done in actually 2017 where the adjustment was made. I don't know what happened and what the expenses were for
No, it was-
2018.
It was
If
17.
there for
Yeah,
2018.
It was 17. We had it for 2 extras. They only hired 1. So this come around, we were
And there
told
was
that.
no reduction in salary
We were told
expenses
that
for 2018?
We were told this coming year that they weren't going to hire another one. So we only did what was needed
That's what I
for,
thought.
yes, for this year.
So
the money
okay,
is
so-
not there for 2018.
Okay,
We would
but
have to.
let me
right.
just, and I will address this too, in 17, I believe it's all in the salary
It was
line.
in 17.
We could have maybe amended it to put the allocation, I think they was talking about like federal tax withholdings and
Right.
stuff like that.
Retirement and things.
So the money was there, because I think the
In
whole
17,
lump
yeah.
sum was there in that salary line, and it could have just been maybe divided out. So,
I'm the messenger.
well, it's okay, well, I will address it first thing tomorrow morning. I mean, I know it's in 17, but I just want to clarify, the money was there in 17 for you to hire 2. So if we put 50,000 and maybe 1,000 had to move here and,
And that's about what it is to hire a
Correct.
new, was.
So I just want to say that if I'm not mistaken, the money was there. It may not have just been broken down, but it was all lumped in the salary line. We could have just easily have moved it. It still came to the same total at the end.
Thank you.
I respectfully
Could I get time to ask one more question related to the
Actually,
presentation?
we've got a
Just do one more
plethora of.
question? Just a motion for one more minute?
Okay.
I have a motion for 1 more minute by Councilman Wheeler, seconded by?
Second.
Councilman Johnson, all in favor?
Yay. Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. 1 more minute.
This was actually, I think Ms. Benton was getting at it. The one confusing part of the presentation, at least to me, was related to Colonial, and I forget the guy's name, who was Mr. Hotmeyer, I think, who was speaking. He said something along the lines of, it'll take 5 to 10 years to get Colonial to be able to pump out all the water once there's residential and once the Blake is up. But obviously, that's going to happen before 10 years, and in the meantime, there might be extra tanks just to hold more water. Did anyone understand that better than I did? Maybe you did, Ms. Ben, because I think
what he was saying was that, that it might take 5 to 10 years to develop that property, and that during that time frame, they may have to add more storage capacity. That's how I understood it. I don't know.
so. It would
I
be
don't
5 to
think
10
we
years to get the Blake.
If you want.
No, not the blade.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask that you submit it in writing. We'll get you back something
Okay.
because we're doing address the council. Thank
Okay.
you.
If you don't mind, if I could just add to what Mr. Andrew Case just brought up. So what we just heard was the chief of our fire department is talking about hiring 2 people. He's hired 1, but he's been told there's not enough money in the line to hire the second. We've all just uncovered that there really is, and you should do that, but we need to figure out why. Linda Lulu, our finance director, has been missing for the last 4 meetings. Does anyone find that odd?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
We should find that odd, right? Okay. And if we're going to question Mr. Pettit, who's representing our fire department, our other responder that we're talking about this evening, our department is saying, where are all the funds going? Well, we all know we've identified months and years that Miss Lulu charges the city over 200% of what her line item is to charge us. So if her salary should be somewhere around 40,000, she's charging us 120,000 a year. Now, do you guys think, as taxpayers, that maybe we should shine a light on why are we paying someone to manage our finances 3 times their salary, but I can't hire a police officer and I can't hire a fireman? I don't know if anybody about a month ago was out on Colonial Club Drive, and what's the corner street where you were putting the fire out yourself?
6th and Ashland.
Okay. I was coming home that evening. It was about 11 p.m. The chief and his 3 men off of a truck were putting a fire out by themselves. You had Jefferson Parish trucks pulling up to help them. and we're going to question why he can't hire a second fireman? And our finance director's not here for 4 months in a row because you know why? She doesn't want to be called out, you guys. We know it's facts. It's not made up. It's not make-believe. It's facts. She's been paid 3 times her salary. Okay, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. But we can't hire another fireman to put out the fires. Just, that's your opinion. To take care of the citizens of Harahan who pay taxes. Sorry, you guys, we can do better. And please, when you go vote this in November, please choose your vote wisely and choose wisely to put people in here who I'm speaking. I have the floor. Thank you.
I think
I have the floor.
I don't think you need to bring politics
Do I have the floor,
into
please?
this. I think it's a personal point of privilege that I am going to tell you that we have city business and that the drama is interfering with the city business. We need to go forward.
Tina, there's no drama that I cause. I'm actually a very intelligent, factual person.
Dana, you're campaigning.
You are
right
campaigning.
now, and don't
I
think
have
it's
no
appropriate.
dog in this hunt. I have no dog in this hunt.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What I'm trying to say is this fire chief right here is just talking about a second person, but we're paying the finance director 3 times her salary, everyone. That's it. There's no drama. She's drama.
Thank you. Mr. Brusick, please go.
It's hard to follow that, guys. It's really hard to follow that. I'm hopefully going to be relatively meek and mild tonight. So I just want to know, are we going to be having a meeting regarding the, I guess it's upcoming audit, right? It is audit season. We should have an audit already out there. Is that correct? Everybody, this is the right season. I'm not crazy? Okay. All right. And so I'm curious, has there been a pre-release of the audit out yet? Can anybody give me a hint, just high sign something? Is there anything out there?
When Councilman Boudier and I met with Carl Riggs and
Okay.
Ingram, he provided us with a copy of the audit.
Okay.
I don't think it's been uploaded to the state just yet, if I'm not mistaken, but he did provide us with a copy of it. Yes, sir.
I'll clarify. The legislative auditor website has had the audit for weeks and weeks on end.
Okay, we met with
So-
Mr. Rebo 2 months ago, so maybe at that time, if I'm not mistaken, Councilman Boudier, he said it was en route to be up there. I
Okay.
can't confirm and/or deny whether he said it was.
Okay.
So I'm just telling you when we met him, and that was about 2 months ago.
At
He's-
2 months when you met with him, it was up and it was on the legislative auditor's website.
Can anybody tell me, was it a qualified or, oh, sorry.
Yes, it was. It is. It is.
Can anybody tell me, is it a qualified or unqualified opinion?
You want my opinion?
No, I want to know if it, does it say that it's qualified or unqualified? Mayor, can anybody answer that?
It is an unqualified opinion.
Okay. Excuse me? Okay, so is it
Look it up.
qualified or unqualified? I'm hearing that it's a
This is
qualified opinion, unqualified
It's
opinion.
addressed the council, just finish, and you can go and look on the website for yourself, Mr. Brusick.
Okay. Well, that's going to tie me right into the question from Mr. Pettit, is are the various lawsuits identified in there by line item, or is there at the very least year-over-year comparisons from budget to actual and actual to actual? Does that exist?
From the audit that we saw, there was no comparison in the audit that was provided to us. And we asked Mr. Rebo, because I believe in previous years it was, but for some reason it was not in this one.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, he said it was not required. I have to go
Okay.
back. And I thought it was odd, because if it's not required, then why did we put it in previous years and it's not in this
Right.
one?
Of course.
A lot of questions I asked, he unfortunately said he didn't have the answers for me, he would get back to me.
Okay. So
So-
if we don't have apparently year over year, I'm hearing that it's qualified, unqualified. I'm very curious to know why Linda Lulu isn't here today to discuss it, or at the very least be available to shed light on it, especially when we pay her over $120,000 a year. She can come to these meetings to discuss these, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
I did ask, I sent an email to Linda asking her if she was coming tonight, because I see apparently now on our agenda, which may occur monthly, we would need to address monthly financials to budgets to actual.
Right. Uh-huh.
And you would think she would be here. I didn't get a response from her, so
Time's up. If you want, I'm just saying, if you want to add more time. you may.
we'll do a motion for one more minute. Because
Have
I'm
a
sorry,
motion
Jason,
by
we took some of your
Councilman
time
Wheeler
answering your
for
questions.
one more
That's okay.
minute.
Second.
Okay.
Seconded by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? I have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
Seems to me that if we have an absentee finance director, absentee, not here, clearly, apparently not doing their job, and not doing actuals comparison year over year, which you've seen, that's, to me, that's not doing their job, because every audit I've ever seen has that. It bothers me that we're spending that much money when it could have gone to the fire department. That's $120,000, $80,000 wasted of our dollars that could have gone to hire somebody. Thank you.
I just want to say something. As a citizen, I have been coming to these meetings for about 25 years. And prior to this administration, the city accountant only came to the council meetings when the budget was presented and then possibly during the budget hearings. That's the only time that I ever saw the finance director in these chambers. If I'm, it's not, I'm defending the fact that she's not here. She's not required to be here.
But Sue, if I can just say, if we're going to put it on a new business and discuss the monthly financials with budget to actual comparison, I'm sure you will agree that our finance director should be here if we have questions. So if she's not going to be here, then how can we discuss it? Because I have tons of questions and she's not here.
And you never presented to her before the meetings. I think that's a problem. I think we come here.
I sent her, I have sent her
Oh, you
questions,
sent-
yes,
okay, well,
ma'am.
then I stand corrected.
Which is also why I asked her to be here, because I didn't get a response. So I'm just saying, if it's going to be under new business, and this was under last month, and it
Well-
seems it's going to be this month, and if it continues, I think she needs to be
I'm
here.
not going to argue about
No,
that. but
we're not
but
arguing. I'm just saying, I think she
Can
should
we
be
go,
here.
can we proceed to address the council? Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, my name is Hermine Anderson. I live at 124 Coventry Court. I am an infiltrator from River Ridge. Sorry, guys. I am here to ask you all, what is your opinion, your stance on the toxic smell in River Ridge and here? Are any of you attending your father's meeting tomorrow
I
at
am.
2 p.m.?
I am.
You better be.
I am.
Yeah. Well, I am going to be there, and I am the organizer. I don't know how I got myself into this, Hermine, of the protest that is going to be taking place 1 hour prior to the meeting. We are not going in the parking lot. We are going to be very peaceful. We have signs, and we are going to walk on the sidewalk of Popeyes. We looked up every protest little protocol thing, and we want the landfill shut down. We know it is in disrepair. We've read the reports. It's releasing over 80% of gases that could be contained. It also was, now there's a moratorium on it, taking in industrial waste. If it's in such disrepair, we need Harahan to stand up and be at this meeting and demand what, the other night I woke up last week and we have a Facebook site and we were told to dial 911. Believe me, it was the last thing I wanted to do, and I apologized profusely when the big fire truck came down my street at 6 a.m. in the morning. All my neighbors thought my house was on fire, or I was having a heart attack. But they were so sweet and nice. They asked me if I needed oxygen, and I said, no, I'm very dizzy, but I'm fine. And we filled out a smell report. All of us have been complaining for 2 years. I've been smelling it from 2012. And I am just begging you to please have Harahan stand behind what we're trying to do. Shut the landfill down. That's all I'm asking, and I hope you take the same stance that we are all, it's all women.
We have done
We have no men marching with us, all women and children. No, and we are not going to carry two little baby with a double head like we've been accused of, double-headed babies and all of this stuff.
Ms. Hermine,
But-
if you'd like, our
Yep.
chief would, if I can stop this, would like to give you a response.
Okay.
Ms. Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for what you and your group have been doing. We have here in Harahan been doing our little part in this operation as well, and I have been investigating that nasty smell for quite some time. I've spent many of nights awake, many of nights driving around chasing the smell down with a GC machine that was provided to us through LSU, through the wonderful doctor. And at the direction of this mayor and this council, I was asked to keep a watchful eye and report back on our findings. We've been working very hard. I was never a believer that it was from the landfill. I was chasing not only just the landfill, but I was chasing other businesses around on the West Bank. You know, we knew that it was coming from over there from somewhere. I was trying to identify on the computer exactly what the chemical was, and was getting fairly close to doing that at the point that everything broke, that it was only the landfill, or possibly only the landfill. I never was a believer in that. I still think that there's other things out there other than just that. Although I do now believe, from what we've learned, that they were bringing chemicals that none of us were aware that they were bringing into that landfill.
Yes, sir.
That in fact it is the landfill. And I'm a firm believer in that, and I do think that they have some serious issues. I do believe that the parish is going to address them. Unfortunately, I think it's going to take them quite some time, and we're not going to get full relief from this for a while. I do think that if they're forced to shut it down at some point, possibly, they may be able to get it done faster. All resources go into just fixing the problem rather than continuing to create a problem at the same time as fixing the problem. So we most certainly stand behind the citizens that have had an issue. I've had an issue. I've been woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have children that live in this community. And we have all taken the same interest. I don't think anybody in this city, on this council or this mayor, sat down and laid down and did nothing. Everyone was interested. I will be there tomorrow to hear and see what their plan is. I will not be protesting, but if y'all have some chicken, I'd be happy to come over there and eat.
We'll get you chicken if
And
you
Ms.
come with
Harmon.
us. We'll get you chicken.
So, thank you very much,
And-
and we will continue to
I'd like to also
Keep a
say
watchful eye.
that, Ms. Anderson, we took this very seriously here in Harahan. A lot of fingers were pointed at our little city. We brought in the DEQ. We searched everywhere we could and examined it. I even went to Jefferson Parish and asked them to help us search it. It is at that point that I met with environmental over at the parish. I met with who was over their wastewater treatment plant, and I said, what do you have that could be causing this? And then we started expanding, looking other places other than Harahan, because it was apparent that it wasn't coming from here. What we have found out so far is our prior waste garbage contractor, Waste Management Progressive, is in charge of the contract that was monitoring, handling the leachate chemical in the water. That contract has been problematic. They were problematic for the city here. We have many issues. They would not, that same company would not even give us the information we requested, our own information on recycling, how many residences, and they could not prove that they were actually recycling at all. We think that it was just a charge. So, yes, ma'am, this little city has defended our neighbors in River Ridge, in Jefferson, and Wagaman on the West Bank. We brought it to the Jefferson Parish's attention, and we want somebody held accountable because we're just tired of it. So thank you.
I was one of the people, if you look on Harahan, River Ridge, air quality
air
of
quality.
the administrators, I'm there. I helped start that page. We got that started, of course, because of the investigation I was doing. I laid back and I haven't said a whole lot on that page because I didn't know whether I'd have to represent this city in court one day, giving our findings. So I've kind of sat back and watched it all happen, and I've steered a few things from the back seat. But most certainly, we were in the forefront of trying to identify what our issues are.
Yes,
Because
we-
I will never put up with this smell for the rest of my
Yeah.
life. If I'd have to leave first.
We're presenting
it's miserable.
tomorrow, not me personally, but Gerald Herbert is making a presentation of all the data that we've
Absolutely.
collected
Gerald
from
has been
our-
a champion
Yeah,
for this
he
issue
has
and has been a wonderful
He has been.
volunteer.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
I appreciate you all.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson.
Robert Johnson, 6735 Riverside. The location of Harahan's Little Free Library run by my wife. I want to thank all the candidates that are running for the city of Harahan. There's a lot of requirements in running. 15 of y'all have filed your personal financial disclosure with the Louisiana Board of Ethics. One candidate hasn't. So, Ms. Maselli, Title 18, Section 1495.7. This is a requirement to be filed with the state, the personal financial disclosure, because it lists financial obligations that you have so that potential conflicts of interest can be identified. Ms. Maselli did file an extension request in May. That works if you're an incumbent. It does not work if you're a candidate. The deadline, if you are a candidate to file, was July 25th. So her filing has been overdue since July 25th, and Kathleen M. Allen, the Ethics Administration Program Administrator, has now put in the mail to Ms. Maselli a notice that she has 7 days to file her report. It's a notice of deficiency. And when you file this report, every report you have filed has had a significant and material omission. I ask that you look for that and that you file this time a complete report and that you amend all your prior reports. If that does not happen, next month I'll reveal the omission that has been going on that is both material and significant. Ethics administration issues, maybe it's something voters should concern themselves with. Thank you.
Ready, John Ream, 3 Ren Pass. Have an update on regarding the illegal compost court case. Court case for wood materials versus the City of Harahan is in the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals. The City of Harahan filed their briefs on August the 6th. Wood Materials has until August the 27th to file their briefs. The court case should be heard in October. The residents need to attend. I will inform the residents of the court date. Concerning the odor issue affecting residents of Harahan and River Ridge, there's a meeting tomorrow, which we're told about, at the Yenny Building on the 2nd floor in the Jefferson Parish Council chambers at 2 p.m. It is open to the public. I do plan to attend. I received about 300 complaints and signed petitions regarding the residents' quality of life being adversely affected by the activity from the Bachelor in Harahan. I am retired and my door was always open. I've been diligently working for the residents of Harahan on the illegal compost and the obnoxious and offensive sand issues for the past 3 years. I've met with spoken to, and emailed the Harahan Mayor, the Council, the Jefferson Parish President and Council, the DEQ, the Department of Agriculture, the Flood Protection Authority, the East Jefferson Levee District, the Corps of Engineers, and several other federal and state agencies. Today, I addressed the Flood Protection Authority commissioners at their board meeting in New Orleans. I am ready to use the same time and energy as a Harahan councilman to serve the residents of Harahan in all areas. Please vote for me, John Ream. Thank y'all. And I have met with all of y'all. Y'all all know me. You've even been to my house. So I thank y'all for coming. And you all know the things that are going on from Wood Materials. And he needs to move that illegal compost out of Harahan. And so whatever y'all can do to move that, but other people are working on it too. So I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And thank y'all.
Evelyn Ream. Concerning the old sand haul road along the levee from Hickory Street to Bailey Street, Wood Materials committed to us at the May 9th ribbon cutting ceremony for the new concrete haul road from Hickory Ramp to the river to grade the old sand haul road along the levee and plant grass, and to close the open berms and plant trees at Hickory to Oak, Chris Law to Rim Pass, and at Bailey, saying this would stop the Venturi effect. These actions will give the residents between Hickory and Bailey the same thing that the residents from Bailey to Ray-Ban already have. The grass behind the levee and the trees in the berms to stop the Venturi effect of airborne sand entering into the community. We thanked Chief Administrative Officer Derek Bays and the Flood Protection Authority Commissioner Herbert Merla for obtaining from Wood Materials a date of July 9th to start on the work on the Old Hall Road along the levee. On July 6th, Wood Materials started the work. The Old Hall Road along the levee has been graded and lowered, and open berms at Hickory to Oak, Crystal Rim Pass, and at Bailey along the Hall Road have been closed. John spoke today at the Flood Protection Authority meeting stating that what has been done on the old Sand Hall Road along the levee, and also stated that nothing else has been done in the last 2 weeks. We asked Chief Administrative Officer Derek Bays to please check with Wood Materials to find out when they will begin the next steps of the work on the Old Hall Road and when it is expected to be completed. He will get back with us. The residents are hoping the next steps of laying grass and placing tree curtains on the berms to stop the Venturi effect of the airborne sand entering to the community will start soon. The work on the new Hall Road and the old Hall Road that Wood Material has and is doing on the Bachelor also benefits the people exercising on the levee and the people driving in their cars on Riverside Drive. We will continue to monitor the work on the old Sand Hall Road along the levee. And I know that maybe some people are getting tired of us coming here every month speaking about this, and I can tell you we a little weary too. But this has taken so long, 3 years of addressing it. But the thing you have to do with things like this that's really affecting people's quality of life, don't give up. Because when you give up, that's when you lose. You keep pressing, you keep letting the companies or whoever's doing whatever, even the odors out there, you keep letting them know, I'm not going to quit until it's found and stopped. Or I'm not going to quit until you make the changes that the residents deserve. So anybody that's addressing stuff, just keep on addressing it. Don't stop if you're addressing something that's worth addressing, because you will win in the long run, because the Lord is good and he will help. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Ms. Rance.
Miss Evelyn, just real quick, it wouldn't be a council meeting if you didn't come. So we need you here.
Well, we haven't been on vacation in 3 years. But you know what? I think that overall, it's all going to be done, and Wood Materials is going to really be a good neighbor to the residents of Harahan and do the right thing. And I'm expecting to see some little 4-year-olds or even teenagers with their uniforms with Wood Materials on the back, because you can do the right thing and you can make peace. And I think that's what they should be doing.
Ms. Evelyn.
And that's what we want. We're not here to stir problems. We're just here to try to solve it. Thank y'all for
Thank you, Ms. Evelyn.
listening.
My name is Tommy Buddy. I live at 7208 Stoneleigh Drive. As many of you know, I'm running for a seat on the Harahan City Council. I'm retired. This is my first run for public office. My family's lived in Harahan for 30 years. We're now in our third generation. My daughter and our grandchildren growing up in Harahan also. I have over 40 years of executive leadership experience. I've led large companies. I've been the CFO for a company with over 700 employees. I've got significant contract, compliance, transaction, and risk management experience. I've led teams of professionals for decades, and the key word there is teams. There's not that much that happens in the business environment that I haven't experienced and been challenged by. I previously laid out a plan to create 10-year strategic plans for our infrastructure needs. Tonight, I'd like to discuss a more specific goal. One, to actively explore merging our sewage treatment plant with Jefferson Parishes. And I thought I had an original idea. We'll get into that later. I sat in on a few different council meetings, and at one of them, I heard a budget meeting, more than likely, we're paying Veolia $650,000 for much-needed competency and experience that a little city doesn't have. And on the other hand, I heard a presentation by our city engineer, and if I understood it correctly, in addition to the $4 million we've spent or are spending on sewerage repairs, we may need as much as another $10 million. Of that $10 million, there were millions necessary to upgrade the sewage treatment facility. So I had an aha moment. I had visions of possible savings of hundreds of thousands of dollars. We'd eliminate Veolia, we'd merge with Jefferson Parish, we'd eliminate the need to spend millions of dollars upgrading our sewage treatment plant. Now there would be cost. We'd have to build a lift station and get our sewage tied into Jefferson Parishes. Well, I've since learned it wasn't an original thought. Councilman Paul Johnson proposed a plan to the city, though it has not been pursued. As your councilman, I'll review Councilman Johnson's proposal. I'll work to form a team to explore the possible cost savings. We'll report findings to the citizens and elected officials. And if savings are possible, I'll lead a team of elected officials, a team, to make it happen. Now, should these savings materialize, just think, a couple of $100,000, $300,000, $100,000 a year. Just think of the fire trucks we could purchase, the roofs we could put on the gym, the air conditioners we could replace at the senior center, the gift that keeps on giving every year. I've spent a lifetime analyzing transactions just like this, and
A
I
motion
believe
for another minute.
I have a motion for one more minute by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Thank you. I've spent a lifetime analyzing transactions just like this, and I believe there may be real value here, a win-win situation. As your councilman, I'll be happy to perform these services for Harahan. If I'm elected, I'm offering right here, right now, to all elected officials, my service, my knowledge, and my experience with transactions and contracts for the betterment of Harahan. Great things happen through team efforts. My name's Tommy Buddy, and I'm asking for your vote. I do have one more question, though, not related to that, and it's just to point me in the right direction. I heard tonight that there are impact fees included in the recent memorandum of understanding that was signed. I've read it and I missed it, so if anybody could give me reference to the provision in the memorandum of understanding where the impact fees are, I'd appreciate that so I can go back and reread it. Thank you.
I'm going to be brief. I'm just here in support of the people that are going tomorrow to the Yenny building in protesting the odors. A report actually came out this evening. I'm sorry. Jean Marie Murphy, 120 Woodlawn. Trying to go fast because I know everybody wants to get on with the meeting. But there was a report that came out tonight. Chad Calder actually posted it on the Advocate. And it showed the findings of this group, the Carlson report, that had been studying the odors and that had been looking at the landfill over there. And some of the statistics are quite frightening. One of the things they found was that it's hydrogen sulfide emissions that cause neurological, respiratory, ear, nose, and throat problems, among other things. They also cited that 16 of 34 of the drainage tubes were either not turned on or not functioning, and 95 out of the 225 vertical wells for gas collection were either submerged underwater, and 45 were completely blocked. So they said that the findings also showed that there was no emissions other than where the industrial waste had been put. So, but it is being emitted. And we've had episodes almost on a daily basis, either mild, that smoky smell, or full on, and you all know. But this is harming our health. And this is ongoing. Something needs to be done. I know that there has been motions for injunctive relief. Probably a lot of you, like me, have received mailers on the class action litigation suits that are being prepared. But as a resident of Harahan, and myself and other neighbors are here to urge you guys to take an active stance against this. It is harming our health. It is harming our quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Majine Cazenave,
Can you talk a
46
little closer? I can't hear you.
Majine Cazenave, 46 Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. I always cut out the Harahan legal ads, so I know what's going on at the meetings. However, when I got here tonight and saw the agenda, I realized not all of the agenda was advertised in the legal ad. The agenda calls for a special meeting to be held just to take up 4 budget ordinances being introduced tonight. This council has consistently stating they would not vote on a budget ordinance at a special meeting. So why aren't these budget ordinances being discussed and voted on at regular council meetings? Why call a special meeting to discuss it? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Jardina. I live on Hickory. And I just have a couple of questions that have actually just popped up for me over the course of this meeting. I'd like to know, since some of the council members, you in particular, Ms. Dana, are so concerned about the firemen and the taxpayers' dollars, what are you doing about some of the other council members here not paying back the health insurance that they owe the city? What have you done for that? Anything? I thought Tina was the only one who didn't answer questions. Are you not going to answer my question?
It isn't question and answer, but I'm not afraid.
Okay, well then answer it.
What am I doing about?
What have you done and do you plan on?
I'm going to repeat your question. Calm down.
Oh no, you calm down.
Oh, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
So I know you're talking over me. I'm trying to answer your question. What
Well,
would you
don't
like?
tell me to calm down.
Do you want me to answer?
You can answer in a second.
Okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Baudier, there was a lady who came up here and asked you a very specific question about a comment that you were quoted, calling older ladies in this city terrorists. You chose not to answer her. Why?
You have an answer?
You don't have an answer for that?
No, I said, do you want me to answer?
Be careful.
Yeah.
What makes you think I don't? I just asked you.
I didn't call old ladies terrorists. If you go back and look at the meetings, what was happening at the meeting was people were coming up and badgering us at these council meetings, calling us stupid, ignorant, telling people they don't know how to write their own ordinances and everything else, and they wouldn't. It just was one of them things where they wouldn't stop, kind of like what you see going on Facebook. And
Yeah, Facebook is bad.
It is.
And when our comment was directed, it was directed at Ms. Valenti. It was not directed at everybody else. And since then, if you paid attention to other meetings, I have apologized. I've asked
Oh,
her.
so you did make the comment? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's public knowledge.
Okay.
I asked her, I said, yeah, but she was terrorizing us. And I said, you're like a terrorist. You're terrorizing us. I have apologized since then. I've asked for her apology. I mean, I doubt that she'll ever give it to me, but am I regretful of saying it? Yes, I am. And again, I mean, when you get here and you see, and you just get picked on over and over and over, and it's nonstop, you're eventually gonna say something.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Now, would you mind answering?
Sure. Just to, okay, what? I just want to make sure
Oh,
I can
okay.
talk. Is it
Sure.
okay? I just wanted to kind of back up Mr. Bodier with your question about the terrorist. I really don't.
I didn't ask you that.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to answer it.
So you don't want to answer my previous question?
Oh, I'm going to if you would stop arguing with me.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm a very direct person.
Okay, thank you. You have a good night.
So you don't want to answer questions?
I'm fine to answer any
You
questions.
want to answer the questions
not
only you
tonight
want to
for you.
answer, which
Not
I didn't even
tonight for you.
ask,
Not tonight. for
right?
you.
And you're paid by the citizens of this city?
I am.
And you're not going to answer my question?
You have a good evening.
I'm having a good evening now. Are you?
I am.
I bet you
I'm
are.
fine. Take care.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I know I've already spoken, but this is kind of a point of privilege. Mr. Bodier, once again, has forgotten some facts. Mr. Bodier made the terrorist comments, not in here and not directed directly to me, Mr. Bodier. It was to a newspaper reporter who asked you about a number of senior women who come
You need to go
and
get your
talk
facts
to
right.
you.
That's not correct.
Okay, then I'll
Go back and
post
get
it on
your facts
Facebook tonight. It's absolutely correct.
Go get your facts right. Bring it back and then show it to me at the next
Thank
council
you.
meeting.
Be
Can
happy
we
to
please
do
move
that.
on? 'Cause this is nonsense. Let's move on.
We will now close address the council.
Mayor.
We'll now
Mayor.
close address the council. It's closed.
Tim Walker, address the council. Tim Walker, Harahan Police Chief. I just want to thank the public, the voters of Harahan. I've been re-elected unopposed. I will be serving another 4 years starting January. Thank you.
Thank God.
Approval of the minutes?
Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on July 19th.
Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on July 19th.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by? Can we have quiet in the chambers? I have a second by Councilman Benton. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed?
Nay.
How many nays?
Nay.
We have 3 nays. Motion fails. Madam Clerk, please advertise and file appropriately the minutes of the meeting.
Mayor, let me ask you a question. When the minutes don't get approved, yet when you say file them, they're filed? just in
Legally,
the
legally, it doesn't matter if you approve them or not. They have to get filed in the minutes book, and they have to be advertised.
Okay, so can I just make one suggestion? I noticed the reason, and Judy, Susan Benton was absent at last month's meeting, but there's a couple of ones where you have her voting yay. Okay.
Would you like to make a motion to correct?
No.
That's what you do.
I don't have to approve them. I was just saying, I was saying you still advertise them even though they're incorrect.
You can
Okay.
make a motion to correct them, or you can advertise them as are.
Well, I
Ms.
just-
Judy, if you would like, since they're unapproved, would you please make sure that the count for with
That was
Ms.
just
Benton
one.
being absent is corrected? Thank you very much. Communication?
The Board of Adjustments and Appeals did not meet in July, and the Planning and Zoning Board didn't meet in August.
Resolutions?
Proposed resolution number 2018-9. The following resolution was offered unanimously by the council. This was deferred at the July 19th meeting. Whereas Jefferson Parish, are we going to read it first and then do the amendment?
Yeah, read it first, then do the amendment. Yeah.
Whereas Jefferson Parish has submitted an application for funding under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Infrastructure Program. And whereas the Department of Housing and Urban Development regulations require that the City of Harahan certify that these activities for which CDBG funds are being requested are designed to alleviate existing conditions which pose a serious and immediate threat to the health or welfare of the community. which are of recent origin, of which recently became urgent, and that the city of Harahan able to commit local funding in the amount of $12,764.40 for the activity on its own, and that no other funds are available. Now therefore be it resolved by the Harahan City Council, acting as governing authority of said city, that Section 1, the City of Harahan hereby certifies that the activities for which CDBG funds are being requested for the Harahan effluent pumps project are designed to alleviate existing conditions which pose a serious and immediate threat to the health or welfare of the community, are of recent origin, or which recently became urgent, and that the city of Harahan is able to commit local funding in the amount of $12,764.40 for the activity on its own, and there are no other funds available. The foregoing resolution having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
I'd like to make a motion to amend line 25, delete is able, and commit, and insert instead has committed.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Benton and seconded by Councilman Johnston. It is presented in writing. Madam Clerk, you have a copy already?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr.
All those,
Viewers, well, I think there needs to be another area that needs to be corrected.
okay. Well, just let's
Line
finish the.
14.
Okay.
That also should say has, I would think needs to read has committed.
That would be fine. It's not an operative provision, but if you want to do it stylistically, you keep it. Yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead and read the same line if you want.
So I have a motion by Councilman Benton, seconded by Councilman Johnston. All those in favor of the amendment to the resolution?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
So now we
Councilman Wheeler,
that
would
other
you like to
motion.
also
Well, I
make an
think,
amendment?
I think it needs to coincide with the change on line 25. I think it needs to say the same.
That's fine.
Do you want to make?
To say delete able to.
Well, I think it needs
and-
same thing, delete able to commit, and it should say has committed.
Your motion?
That's what it should be.
Okay. I have a motion by
Same.
Councilman Wheeler, seconded
Second.
by Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Do you mind putting that in writing, Councilman Wheeler? And then we can submit
I'ma
it.
just write it
We-
on here.
Okay, yeah, you could just scratch it out. We will now open a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this resolution? We will now close public hearing. Council discussion? Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Benton, seconded by Councilman Johnston, and all those in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? I'm sorry, to proceed with the vote and approve. So all those in favor of the resolution?
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. The resolution passes. Next resolution.
Proposed resolution number 2018-10.
Do you mind if I take a 2-minute recess? I just need to ask the city attorney, if you don't mind, for just a brief question.
Yeah.
City council meeting is now resuming at 9:42. Madam Clerk, Resolution 2018-10.
The following resolution was offered by Councilman Wheeler? Wheeler.
Whichever.
All right.
Whichever. That's fine.
It's proposed resolution number 2018-10, a resolution requesting that funds previously made available to the city of Harahan from Jefferson Parish in resolution 2018-585 in the amount of $70,000 for the benefit of the Recreation Department to provide funding for upgrades and improvements to Wilcox Field at Harahan Playground be redirected by Jefferson Parish to a cooperative endeavor agreement between Jefferson Parish and the Harahan Athletic Association for the same purpose. Whereas the Harahan Athletic Association has identified additional sources of grant funds to complete upgrades and improvements to Wilcox Field, and whereas the cost of the upgrades and improvements will exceed the funds available from the City of Harahan, and whereas the City of Harahan has an interest in pooling all available funds from outside sources to expedite the upgrades and improvements, and whereas the Parish of Jefferson has agreed to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Harahan Athletic Association to provide funds for the upgrades and improvements to Wilcox Field. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council for the City of Harahan, the governing authority of said city, at Section 1, The City of Harahan is hereby requesting that Jefferson Parish redirect the funds originally accepted by Resolution 2018-585 from the City of Harahan to the Harahan Athletic Association by Cooperative Endeavor Agreement for upgrades and improvements to Wilcox Field at Harahan Playground. Section 2, that the Harahan Athletic Association work in cooperation with the City of Harahan Recreation Department to provide the appropriate upgrades and improvements to Wilcox Field and to obtain additional funds necessary to complete the upgrades and improvements. Section 3, that the Harahan Athletic Association will endeavor to complete the improvements and upgrades in the time for the 2019 baseball season. And Section 4, that a certified copy of this resolution be sent by the Harahan City Clerk to the Jefferson Parish Councilman Paul Johnston, who provided the original funds from District 2 improvement funds available for recreation purposes. Foregoing resolution having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Public hearing is now open. If there's no one wishing to speak at public hearing, we'll close the public hearing. Council discussion? If there's no council discussion, do I have a motion to proceed with the vote to
Motion.
accept?
We're in resolution 2018.
Resolution. All those,
Wait, we got
in
John.
what? All those in favor to accept the resolution?
Yay.
Any opposed? I have 4 yeas, 1 nay. Resolution passes. Ordinance is for approval.
Ordinance is for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2018-8 was deferred in July, and I am waiting on Jefferson Parish ordinance number 1174,
Okay.
a copy of that from them.
Okay. Well, I'd like to defer this until we get more information. Like I said
Yeah.
before I actually motion to defer, this is a ordinance that is for the signs for flooding. Somebody had called City Hall. I was asked to spearhead this ordinance. I took it. And since then, I have heard from other residents from around the city that are requesting, well, if we put it on this street, we also would like to see it on different streets. So we need to figure out how to also do that, but we are also waiting for a ordinance from Jefferson Parish to see how it's written. Is that what?
Right, yes. Yep.
Okay. So I know we have to open it up to public hearing, but I just wanted to talk about that real quick.
So are you deferring it?
I am going to,
Yeah.
but I know we have to.
You can he defer before open it up to public hearing?
This is a resolution or an ordinance?
It's ordinance.
Ordinance for approval.
I thought that if it's on, you have to at least open it up to. It's probably gonna go quick. Nobody's probably gonna come up. I just.
We'll open it up to public hearing.
Well, you can.
You can defer it because it's your own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
we
your
opened
own.
it up last month and we deferred.
Yeah. So do you want to defer to the next month?
Yeah.
I have
Motion.
a motion by Councilman Johnston.
Second.
To defer to the September regular city council meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Wheeler. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance 2018-8 is deferred. We did open it and
yeah.
close it.
We opened and closed it, yeah. I didn't see you get up, I apologize. But
Mr.
Okay.
Kraus, I will say, I know the issue seems to be of the certain street names allocated in this ordinance.
Right.
That originally, I think it was just West Imperial, and then there was talk of, Sedgefield and McHugh.
Right.
I think we need to address it.
And then
There
now it's
apparently
moving
needs-
more
seems
to
be
the other
more
side of the
streets.
highway, correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Okay.
All right, proposed ordinance number 2018-9. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier, and who would like to second this?
I'll
one?
second.
Seconded by Councilman Johnston. This is an ordinance approving the re-subdivision and rezoning of lots 1 through 8, Square B, Jefferson Park Manor subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Gilbert Kelly and Katori Incorporated, dated May 4th, 2018.
The Planning and Zoning Board reviewed the ordinance and has recommended its approval. Will now open to public hearing.
Hi, my name is Stephen Pettit. I represent Danny McMinn, who is the owner, and I'm here to answer any questions in case y'all have any.
Go.
Yes.
The Planning and Zoning Board, the minutes, the proposed resolution indicates a re-subdivision, rezoning, which was agreed to by the Planning and Zoning Board, recommended by the Planning and Zoning Board. But the owner consented to some deed restrictions on lot, I think it was A1, if I'm correct, and it's not reflected in the minutes. Well, I'm sorry, it's not reflected in the proposed ordinance, and it's not, this ordinance says you're approving it in accordance with the surveyor's plan. And what was agreed to, and Mr. Pettit, I'm sure will tell everybody, is that one of the neighbors, in particular, said he had no objections, except he wanted some deed restrictions in there. I think it was auto repair and a couple other ones, Steve. So this ordinance really, if you're going to say it's as the Planning and Zoning Board recommended, it needs to be changed. And in reality, this was a win-win. The owner got what he was asking for. The residents, the surrounding residents, got what they were asking for. And so the rezoning was to take place with some deed restrictions, and that's omitted here. So if this ordinance is approved as it stands, then it's a clean rezoning. And that's not what the Planning and Zoning Board heard. It's not what the owner's representative said. And I'm sure the owner's representative will be more than happy to do what they do. Ms. Judy and I had some correspondence over it. I thought it was going to be corrected in these minutes. When I say that, I'm not pointing blame. I don't know who was going to correct it, but it hasn't happened yet. So what I think needs to be done is this ordinance has to be changed to say we're going to do it subject to the deed restrictions. And my thoughts are it really needs to be done in two parts, because the first thing you need to do is re-subdivide. And once it's re-subdivided, Mr. Pettit can follow deed restrictions on 1A, and then you guys can come and say, is it, I don't have the plan in front of me. It was the corner lot, correct, Ms. Judy? It may be 5A. I thought it was 1A, but anyway, this ordinance does two things. It re-subdivides and then rezones. And I think you need to re-subdivide first so the owner can put a deed restriction on the lot that was agreed to.
The corner lot was 1A.
So it is 1A.
Corner lot is
Thank
1A.
you. I think it was 1A, correct, Steve?
The middle is 5A and very end is 7A.
I recalled it being 1A, but I didn't see a copy of the minutes. That's another,
If you could just clarify that, Mr. Steve.
right.
Mr. Bodie, Mr. Bodie, how was that reported out by the Planning and Zoning Commission? Was it approved subject to the following
Yes, yes, sir.
conditions?
Yes, sir. And it should be reflected, I believe it's reflected in the minutes, correct, Ms. Judy? So it should be reflected in the ordinance, and again, it's a win-win. Everybody's on the same page, it just, if we can clean up the paperwork. Thank you.
So do we need
So-
to add?
So which one was the deed restriction on? It was on the corner lot, which is 1A?
I believe it was 5A.
5A,
Now,
the
now I've
middle
got
one?
it confused, but yes, I
Okay.
believe it was
So
5A.
it is 5A, okay.
And listen, just to clear it up, he did agree to put a deed restriction on it to not allow auto mechanic shops, auto body and paint shops, bars, or gas stations. That's what the neighbor wanted, and he certainly agreed to do that. So,
And Steve, I did review these sales already. These deed restrictions are already incorporated in the sale,
that was
and it
my,
made it public record in the conveyance records.
okay, so it's already done? Okay.
It's done in the clerk's eyes, so the deed that was prepared, they had the transfer of the property, which, these are the new proposed lots. Remember, they're still
Right.
considered the singular
They're
lots.
still 1
These-
through 8,
Right.
right.
So in the sales itself, they identified them as the lots, because they're not these new lots identified just yet, but there was a paragraph, kind of like road home covenants that will run with the property. So it was already filed in the sale when the property was transferred. So it's already registered in the clerk's office that those deed restrictions are meant there. And it says what can and cannot be there.
Gotcha, okay,
So
so,
I did look at the sale, and it's there too.
okay.
Thank you.
So certainly we would do.
It should run in favor of the city as well, because the enforcement power. of the
I'm a
city-
motion to put it on the ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just wanted to clarify that too. It is in the sale too.
Like, whatever y'all need to do, Mr. McMinn's gonna do. I mean, he's fine with those restrictions. So however we clean it up, he's just ready to get the property back in commerce.
I'm
So
sure if
whatever
we
you
just
do.
had a simple
definitely.
paragraph,
Thank you.
subject to the deed restrictions.
Yeah, that's what I
And-
was
and we'll
actually going
certainly
to
make
do.
that
Yep.
happen.
I think that's.
Do we need to
more-
write that paragraph right now?
I already wrote it.
Okay, so, we will now close the public hearing. Councilman Johnston, do you
Okay.
have a motion
With
to
that being
amend?
said, I do have a motion to amend the ordinance. New section 5 is going to read, subject to deed restriction agreement on Lot 5A. And section 5 will become section 6, which is the all ordinances or parts of ordinances of the City of Harahan on conflict with the ordinance are hereby repealed.
Thank you. I
I'll
have a
second that.
motion by Councilman Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor of the amendment?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Amendment is passed. Any further council discussion?
No discussion.
Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote to approve?
Motion.
All those in favor of, I have a motion by Councilman Wheeler and
Second.
seconded by Councilman Johnston. All those in favor to
Yay.
approve? We have 5 yeas, 0, and 1 nay. Ordinance passes.
We have 5 yeas.
I mean, 4 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay, all right.
Ordinance passes.
Congratulations. Yeah, glad to see that put back into
Commerce,
use. Yeah.
It's just, it's subject to deed restrictions on lot. Well, what do you do? Yeah, correct. Oh,
He added section 5.
added section 5, and it said, subject to deed restrictions on lot 5A.
Subject to deed restriction agreement
Okay, well, I
on
think
5A, yes.
You ready, Nicole? Not yet.
Ready? Are you ready?
Alrighty. All right, proposed ordinance number 2018-10. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Benton and seconded by Councilman, who
I'll
would like to
second.
Johnston. This is an ordinance to amend and reordain ordinance number 1457, specifically section 1, whereas the city wishes to protect the city and its contractual magistrate and judge so that fair compensation is incurred and paid as due.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? We will now close public hearing, council discussion.
I just have one concern. I'll talk to Carrie. You want to take it?
Oh, well,
That's fine.
so I had sent this email to Mr. Burris shortly after ordinance 2018-10 and also 2018-11 were brought up for first reading at last month's meeting, and Sue Benton wasn't even present to introduce them, and the mayor introduced them on her behalf. So I contacted Mr. Burris and I said, could that even be done? You know, we finally did get a response today. In the meantime, I also contacted the legal at LMA, and they said, no, mayors cannot bring forth legislation. They said maybe another council member should, but the mayor could not. So, and I believe, Mr. Burris, if you want to maybe read it on the email you sent, your email kind of concurred with what we said as to the fact that the mayor doesn't have the authority to bring these ordinances up in lieu of an absent council member.
That's my opinion, that the mayor has the power as the presiding officer to govern the meeting, but the appropriate procedure, if a council member is going to be absent, is either to have somebody else, another council member,
Right, and that's what that's.
or, and, you know, expanding on what the legislature does, somebody's gonna be absent, let's say you got sick at the last minute, it has to be addressed to the clerk of court by the council member. Clerk, this is a ministerial duty, the first reading, please introduce this on first reading. I think that's the appropriate way to do it, so that's the way I think it should
So,
work out.
so I think, just to clarify, so there's no gray matter, I would think that these need to be brought back up as first reading here,
Can this be
and
considered
then
first?
adopted at the next
Yeah, you could-
month's
You know,
meeting.
you can consider it tonight as the first reading, and then take it up at the next.
Right, but it's under approval, so do we need to,
Yeah, I would make a motion to change its position on the agenda, to amend the agenda, to put that on the agenda as first reading.
These are Sue's ordinance.
Okay, so
Okay.
I make a motion to move this to first reading.
In the proposed ordinance for
proposed-
first reading.
Proposed ordinance for first reading.
On ordinance 2018-10. I have a
I think
motion
we
by
must have called the
Councilman,
same
I have a
day.
motion by Councilman Benton, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Wheeler.
What?
You're seconding the motion to move to,
Sure.
all those approve, in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
All right, so it's going to be the same thing with the next one also, so.
Sue, would you like to make an
Yes, make a motion to move proposed ordinance 2018-11 to under ordinances for first reading.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilman Benton, seconded by Councilman Johnston. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays.
And I apologize for that. mess up.
She proposed all of these before?
'Cause I should have had somebody else.
Proposed ordinance number 2018-12. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier and seconded by Councilman
I'll second. Oh, Wheeler, whichever. Give it to Wheeler. Give it to
Wheeler. Go Wheeler. This is an ordinance to establish provisions with respect to the distribution of solicited and unsolicited print matter and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
And Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to defer.
I have a motion to to defer proposed ordinance 2018-12 by Councilman Bodier. Do I have a second? I have a second by Councilman Wheeler. All those in favor of deferral?
Yay.
Any opposed? So we have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance is deferred.
I'll make a motion
Yeah,
to
just
move
got-
proposed
Clean it up a little
ordinance
bit.
Yeah, I need to clean it up a little bit.
2018-13 to first reading. That's another one.
I have a motion by Councilman Benton to move proposed ordinance 2018-13 to first reading, area for first reading. Do I have a second? I
Second.
have a second by Councilman Wheeler. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. I apologize to anybody, anyone here from Tyler who was looking for an answer tonight. Ordinances for introduction.
Yeah, those questions will get answered. We just want to make sure we're following the proper procedure, so,
I just said,
okay.
And just
To
to
the
the record,
people
I
who
am in
came.
favor of that
Yeah.
ordinance. You just got to do it procedurally correct, so we're not admonished somewhere down the road.
Could we put that on the special meeting?
right, that
Could
would
we
be
add that to the
all 3
special
of them.
meeting, all 3 of those?
We could?
Yeah, it seems that that would be
I mean,
appropriate.
it's not like. we're
So you can
talking-
make a motion for all 3, Sue.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that I'll.
So the same thing as down there, we can bring it
Yeah,
forward.
We're gonna add
right,
that.
that would be
We're gonna add
perfect.
that to it.
That would be perfect.
Just bringing that up.
Yeah, I know.
I think that would be
Okay, I'm
perfect.
gonna make a motion to move those 3 ordinances to the special.
You got to
meeting.
speak into the mic, we can hear
Oh,
you.
sorry. I'm gonna make a motion to move the 3 ordinances. Let me call them out. Let's see. It's
2018, 10, 11, and 13.
2018,
10, 11, and 13.
10, 11, and 13, to
the-
to be heard at the special meeting that we're calling on, where is it? Wednesday, August 22nd at 7:30.
I have a motion by Councilman Benton. Do I
Second.
have a second? I have a second by Councilman Johnston. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Proposed ordinances for introduction.
Proposed ordinance number 2018-14. This following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier. This is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 1841, the annual budget of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018 for the Police Department of the City of Harahan, Louisiana, for health insurance. Proposed ordinance number 2018-15. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 1841, the annual budget of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018 for the Police Department of the City of Harahan, Louisiana, for forensic audit. Proposed ordinance number 2018-16. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 1841, the annual budget of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018, for the Police Department of the City of Harahan, Louisiana, for purchase order. And proposed ordinance number 2018-17. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier. It's an ordinance to amend ordinance number 1841, the annual budget of revenue and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018, for the Police Department of the City of Harahan, Louisiana, for the air conditioning unit. Proposed ordinance number 2018-18. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Benton. This is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 1333, the Harahan zoning ordinance, section 17C, substandard lots of record.
And
I
this
know
was
you have
the,
the three you have to redo.
With that.
You have the three you have to redo
you have
also.
to read the whole proposed ordinance because I think Sue presented the whole thing.
10, 11, and 13, you got to reread too. Yeah, first reading tonight. Right.
What were you saying?
I was saying she had to reread those 20, the 10, 11, and 13, because it's
That
first
will
reading
move
tonight.
to introduction.
Correct.
Okay, and proposed ordinance 2018-18, we have a complete copy, correct? That, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You handled,
Mhm.
so everybody has their copy? Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
All right, and so proposed ordinance number 2018-10. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Benton. This is an ordinance to amend and reordain ordinance number 1457, specifically section 1, whereas the city wishes to protect the city and its contractual magistrate and judge so that fair compensation is incurred and paid as due. In 2018, proposed ordinance number 2018-11, the following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Benton. This proposed ordinance is serving as providing the council with written notification as mandated by LSA RS 391310 that when there has been a change of operation upon which the original adopted budget was developed, the governing authority shall adopt a budget amendment in an open meeting to reflect such change. And proposed ordinance number 2018-13, the following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Benton. This is an ordinance related to asphalt repairs around the city of Harahan to be performed during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. All right.
Old
No-
business?
No old business.
New business?
New business number 1 is monthly financials with budget to actual comparisons.
Any council discussion?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor, can I defer this to the special meeting next Wednesday, August 22nd at 2018? But I would request that Ms. Linda Lulu be present at that special meeting.
Okay, I have a motion to defer by
Second.
Councilman Wheeler, seconded by Councilman Johnston. All those.
Can I maybe change it to require instead of requested?
You can change your motion,
Okay.
sure.
So I'd like to
I
make a
have
motion that I would
by
like to require Ms.
Councilman-
Linda Lulu to be present.
I have a
Second.
motion by Councilman Wheeler, seconded by Councilman Johnston. All those in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
So it's just
Number
special
2?
meeting?
Yes.
That's August 22nd.
Yes.
All right, number 2, a low-content ABO application for the Fox House LLC located at 6231 Jefferson Highway for Karen Dittman Francis.
Okay. Chief Walker, have they met all the requirements?
Met all the requirements, we're just waiting for fingerprints as usual, so it should be approved. The owner's here, Ms. Francis, I don't know if she'd like to say anything. Okay.
Council discussion?
No discussion.
No discussion.
I've heard a lot of great things, a lot of people talking about it. They got, it's supposed to be exciting, new, bring a new little revitalization to that corner. It'd be pretty cool. Thank you, and we welcome you.
What is it? What's it?
They're gonna redo the bar right in the corner, right next to Gex Lawnmower Shop.
Oh, okay.
Is the curve, yeah.
Okay, and it's gonna be a bar and food or?
So you're getting asked questions anyway.
Down the road, she said.
Down the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll invite you back when you're ready to speak, and then we won't put you on the spot. Thank you. Do I have a motion to grant the
Motion.
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Wheeler,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Johnston. All those in favor of the permit?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Permit's granted.
Welcome to Harahan.
Better or worse.
Well,
The city
Might
of
wanna run for
friendship.
council in a few years.
You guys have to just walk there.
that's it.
Number 3,
Ms. Francis is moving a place that she has in Metairie to come to Harahan.
I know, we should
Yes.
welcome her.
Yes.
You're going to have the best customers, I can promise. We're excited too. Number 3,
Number 3 is the St. Rita Pecan Festival Committee. They're requesting permission to sell beer and wine at the annual St. Rita Pecan Festival Bingo on Friday, October 5th, 2018, from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. To sell beer and wine at the annual St. Rita Pecan Festival on Friday, November 9th, from 6 p.m. until 12 a.m. Saturday, November 10th, from 12 p.m. until 11 p.m. and Sunday, November 11th, from 12 p.m. until 9 p.m. And also to block Berg Street from Imperial Woods Drive to Ravan during the hours of operation of the St. Rita Pecan Festival, November 9th through 11th, 2018.
Yeah, 20, I just
council
wanted,
Just need to change it to
Yeah.
18.
I just wanted to stress that it did say 2017 originally. It was brought to everybody's attention, and it is a 2018, of course, so.
thank you. Any council discussion?
No discussion.
No
Do I have a
discussion.
motion to grant permission?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Benton, seconded
Second.
by Councilman Wheeler. All those in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Permission is granted. Number 4,
Special meeting to be called for Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018, at 7:30 p.m. for proposed ordinance numbers 2018-14, -15, -16, -17,
10, 11,
dash 10,
10,
11,
13.
and 13.
And then the monthly financials.
monthly
And
financials.
also monthly financials.
Okay, well, full
And
meeting.
Linda Lulu to be
And
present.
Linda Lulu required to be present.
Required.
Have a whole meeting.
any
So-
council discussion?
No discussion.
No, just, oh,
Do
wait,
I
wait,
have
the
a-
chief.
What's some of that nose?
One of the proposed ordinances is our air conditioning unit in the police department has gone out. And Ms. Lulu asked or suggested that we put it on a special meeting so we can get the funding to change the air conditioning out.
Okay.
Which one was it? You remember?
That is the 17, if I'm not mistaken.
17.
I believe,
All right.
yeah.
So we need to add 17 to it.
No, it's already on.
Oh, you got it. All right, perfect.
No. 12 was deferred.
Any further discussion?
No
No
discussion.
discussion.
Do I have a motion to proceed with the vote to accept?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Wheeler, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All those in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Special meeting is set with the agenda.
So let me,
Yeah.
does Linda Lulu have to be served notice?
No, it doesn't say
Just send her.
that. Just send her an
That sh-
email.
that
I just
should
wanted to
do
make
it.
sure.
Can you do that tomorrow morning?
Yes,
Please, thank you. All right.
And number 5 is the low
Smoked.
content ABO for smoked at 6626 Jefferson Highway.
Chief?
It's been approved again pending fingerprints coming back from state police for everything else met the criteria.
Council discussion?
No discussion.
Can I have a motion to proceed with the vote
Motion.
and grant permission? I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Benton. Yeah?
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. Permits granted. Address the council. Anyone wishing to come up? If there's no one wishing, we will close address the council. Then we are, I think we're paying bills or something. Let's see. Secretary's report.
Secretary's report. For July 2018, total revenue, $488,743.01.
Okay. Reports. Chief Walker.
Stats for the Harahan Police Department for the month of July 2018. We had 616 calls for service, handled 9 auto accidents, 54 citations were issued for 101 charges. We had 7 patrol requests, 19 narcotics arrests for 28 charges, 18 of them were felony, 5 misdemeanor, 5 city. Other arrests were 69 for 141 charges, 14 felony, 92 misdemeanors, and 5 cities. Okay. Person and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, 1 simple robbery, 1 residential burglary, no non-residential burglaries, no attempted burglaries, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 8 larceny thefts, and 21 simple assaults. Thank you.
Chief St. Cyr.
Mayor, I think I've exceeded my word count limit for the night. I'll keep my report to myself.
Really?
Thank
You
you.
bring such humor. Councilman Hewitt?
No report.
Councilman,
No report.
okay. Councilman Bodier?
I just want to thank everybody that gets involved and is a part of this great city and a part of the process. And you can always reach me on myself, 504-343-7762, 504-343-7762. Thank you.
Councilman Benton?
No report.
Councilman Wheeler?
No report.
City Attorney Burris?
In the process of doing this research on the introduction of ordinances today, I ran across a couple of interesting tidbits, and I want to keep you all from getting into bad legislative habits. The House of Representatives has a rule about title-only bills, and the rule states, "No bill shall be introduced or received by title only or in any similar form whereby its provisions are not substantially set forth in full." So I know we've seen this a couple of times now where the bill is just sort of, the ordinance is just by title and then there's no substance to it. Just to let you know, the House prohibits that. And by the way, this was really interesting. The House does not use Robert's Rules of Order as a fallback for procedural, what lawyers call lacuna, when there's not a clear rule on it. What they use is something called Mason's Manual of Legislative Processes.
Wow.
Who knew? So if you know, you want to consider, I tried to get a copy of it online on Amazon today and couldn't get it. They had this like old free copy that looked like it was done by scribes, but apparently the House of Representatives has the up-to-date version. But that apparently is the source to where legislative bodies go to get their parliamentary rules when they don't have a specific rule in place. Just to let you know, that's my report.
Okay. I would just like to thank everyone for attending, for you being active in the process, and we will now pay the bills.
All right, bills paid in July. Total expenditures, $435,577.68. No executive session. Any,
Do I have a motion to adjourn? I have a motion by
Motion.
Councilman Wheeler, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All those in favor?
Yay.
We have 5 yeas, 0 nays. We are adjourned.